You imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Charges have been dropped against world #1 golfer Scottie Scheffler. The Jefferson County Attorney's Office in Louisville, Kentucky, said they reviewed the case, found evidence corroborated Scheffler's account that the traffic incident outside Valhalla Golf Club earlier this month was a big misunderstanding. Clippers signed coach Ty Lue to a new deal through the 2028-2029 NBA season worth about $14 million a year, reports ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. Mavericks hoping to have rookie center Derek Lively back for the potential closeout game. Game 5 of the West Finals tomorrow against the Timberwolves. Lively missed the Game 4 loss with a sprained neck. Three-time NBA champion Udonis Haslem.
He's that energy guy. Derek Lively is lightning in the bottle on both ends of the basketball court for these guys. On defense, he's calling out screens, he's blocking shots, he's getting rebounds, and on offense, he's their best lob threat. He gets to the basket, he gets there fast, he's very efficient down there, he makes good decisions out of the traps on the pick and roll, so they need that energy, they need his effort.
USC freshman Bronny James, LeBron James' eldest son, will stay in June's NBA draft and forego his remaining collegiate eligibility.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Thursday, I'll tell you why I'm starting to believe in Anthony Edwards and the Wolves actually winning this series. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tom Plate. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's hump day. Yep.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Oh, Lincoln Riley, you yellow-bellied such and such.
Hump day.
Trying to run and hide from that opener. I think not.
It's hump day.
We got Dan Pirillo coming up here in 15 minutes.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
You may ask, Scone, who's Dan Pirillo?
Scone, who's Dan Pirillo?
Way to go, Muse. It only took you like 10 years, but you're learning. I'm glad you asked. He's the head coach at Long Island.
It's hump day.
The Sharks.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
He's here in 15 minutes.
Hump day.
We got Taylor Calandro.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We got Trevor Penning trying to save his career.
It's hump day.
We got Chase Justice today.
Hump day.
You may ask, Scone, who's Chase Justice?
Chase, who's Scone?
Oh!
Scone, who's Chase Justice?
Polly! Did you see what he did, Polly?
It's hump day.
Polly! Did you see what he did?
You're early, Moose.
Oh, man. Woo! You know what it is, Paulie?
What's that?
He's getting ready for that East Coast Regional. Just resetting that circadian rhythm is what he's doing. All right, let's get going. We got a lot to do today. A lot to do. Let's begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
I probably should have told you. Chase Justice covers Wofford. That was the whole point till Muse screwed up. Well, how about this? On Sunday, September the 1st, the college football world will turn its collective eye to Las Vegas, to Sin City, to the beautiful Allegiant Stadium on ABC for the marquee game of the opening weekend of the college football season. Two legendary brands, the LSU Fighting Tigers, the USC Trojans. A game 21 years in the making after the 2003 split national title, which led so many truck drivers in Baton Rouge to adorn their backlash with FUSC stickers. And here we are, 21 years later, and we're finally going to get that game, although we almost didn't get that game. Have you heard the report from Matt Hayes at Saturday Down South? Apparently, according to sources, Lincoln Riley and USC spent nearly 2 years trying to get out of playing LSU in Las Vegas. Fox Sports even got involved. They weren't enamored with USC playing their first game as a Big Ten member on rival ABC ESPN. How about that? It goes even deeper. Lincoln Riley called his agent, Trace Armstrong, who happens to be the same agent for Brian Kelly, and asked him to intervene and beg Brian Kelly to please let USC out of this game. Didn't work. Take that, Lincoln Riley. Both teams are going to get $5 million to play this game. By the way, we were able to secure exclusive audio of a conversation between Brian Kelly and Lincoln Riley about this very circumstance. Hit it, Muse.
Oh, what's wrong, dude? You yellow belly.
Nobody calls me yellow.
That was actually from Back to the Future 3. But we can imagine that's what it would have sounded like if we did actually have the audio of Brian Kelly taking Lincoln Riley and rubbing his face in a pile of dirt on the playground. Yeah, how about that? Hey, you know that majestic USC fight song? You know which one I'm talking about. You know which one I'm talking about. That one. Beautiful, isn't it? Well, overplayed, some may say. Well, the rumor is now that USC has gone and changed its fight song. Sounds like this now. Not quite as pleasing to the ear, not quite as majestic, but appropriate. Oh, by the way, I can only imagine what it'll sound like when the Golden Band from Tigerland takes the field at Allegiant, drops the four-corner salute on him, and then the Fighting Tigers of LSU take their appropriate spot on the sideline. You know what it's going to sound like from the USC fan in attendance? Get ready. Get ready. That's all that's happening. Old chickens. Okay, probably not. Probably not any of that stuff. I do understand the fan reaction to want to point and laugh at USC. I don't blame you for any of that. It's one of the things that makes college football and all sports fun is interplay between fans when you can point and laugh and have bragging rights and all that stuff. And it's a bad look for USC and Lincoln Riley. But I think the real story is, why is this a story when it happens all the time? I mean, teams cancel games and move games for a variety of reasons all the time. Like, you know, there's the old saying about, like, don't throw stones in a glass house sort of thing. Like, LSU paid NC State six figures to get out of a home-and-home with NC State so they could play Syracuse. That happened. I mean, that was supposed to be a 2017-2020 home-and-home. I'll remind you that LSU back in the 90s had lost 5 in a row and 6 of 7 to Texas A&M and got out of that series because you get your ass whipped every year. That happened. I mean, look, in 2014, LSU and Oklahoma had a home-and-home scheduled that for that series in 27 and 28. Now, obviously, that's not going to happen now because Oklahoma's going to be in the league, but Lincoln Riley went to Oklahoma in 2015, became the head coach in 2017, and could have in any one of those years tried to cancel this game against LSU when he was at Oklahoma, but, went on with it. I don't know. Listen, part of me understands this. USC has a 9-game conference schedule. They also have to play Notre Dame, and then you're going to add LSU on top of it. That means 11 of your 12 games are against Power 5 opponents. Coaches are interested in winning. They're interested in winning and keeping their very high-paying jobs. I would also argue that isn't this an example of what is wrong with college football and college football scheduling? A marquee game that fans are really excited about, a coach doesn't want to play because of the long-term implications it may have on his team in a season. Like, play 12 awesome games and go into a playoff and be playing your best football by that point. I mean, I'm for that. For whatever it's worth, Brian Kelly was a guest on SiriusXM with Hester Doring and Peter Burns, and he kind of, even though Scott Woodward would not address this on the record at the spring meetings, Brian Kelly did this morning.
Lincoln and I talked about this. We're represented by the same agent, and he certainly doesn't want us to play the game. He would have been, I think a couple of years ago, when it was first put together, he was probably under the impression that this game would never come together, right? But as things, became clear that it was Big Ten versus the SEC, there was no way either team was going to pull out of this game.
So when he laughed and chuckled, he was referring to Trace Armstrong, who didn't want the game to be played, obviously, because he wants both of his clients to win and be successful and make a lot of money. But Brian Kelly did confirm there that they talked about not playing the game, and Lincoln Riley kind of talked about not playing it. But it's going to be the marquee game in the college football weekend, and we'll see what Lincoln Riley says whenever he's asked about it on the record. I mean, honestly, guys, the punchline about this whole thing is LSU ain't won an opener in 4 years. It ain't like we got a lot to sit here and brag about and pound our chest about going into a season opener. How about you win one of these for a change? And then maybe you have a different. The punchline is USC could say, why wouldn't you want LSU in an opener? Because they can't seem to win them. So I'm hopeful LSU goes out to Vegas as a 6.5-point favorite and puts it on USC and has a great start to this season. I think the Lincoln Riley story is much ado about nothing, but congrats to Matt Hayes for getting a lot of people to talk about it on this random day in late May. All right, it is After Further Review. Our show open is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of the UFC. Also, Dustin the Diamond Poirier as well, now endorser of Bud Light. And the Diamond is going to be headlining UFC 302 this weekend against Islam Makhachev. And I'm fired up for this. We're going to be at the Sportsbook at L'Auberge, and you can join us. We have 8 VIP experiences. The 8 winners, and each winner gets 2 guests, free food, all the Bud Light you can drink, reserved table seating in front of the big screen at the Sportsbook at L'Auberge, and we're there this weekend. All you got to do is text the word Diamond, Dustin the Diamond Poirier's nickname. Went to Dustin Diamond, Screech from Saved by the Bell, rip. Anyway, text the word Diamond to our show text line, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. We are picking the winners tomorrow, so today is your last day to enter. Good luck, and we'll see you Saturday for UFC 302, the VIP experience at the Sportsbook at L'Auberge, courtesy of Bud Light, the official beer of the UFC. Okay, quick break. We'll come back. Dan Pirillo will be with us. He's the head coach of Long Island. We'll talk about his Sharks as they're heading to Chapel Hill this weekend. That's next on AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by the Watermark Hotel and the Renaissance Hotel, 2 amazing hotel properties in Baton Rouge. I tell you all the time, if you want to host an event, Watermark, Renaissance. And I was actually talking to a buddy of mine last night. We've got our 25-year high school reunion coming up next year. It's hard to say, hard to believe. But we were talking about it, and he was saying, hey, look, we need to start planning events and whatnot, and looking at the possibility of either going to the Watermark or the Renaissance, 2 awesome hotel properties. Of course, the Watermark downtown, tell you all the time, Baton Rouge's original high-rise building, the old Louisiana National Bank building. The Watermark is gorgeous. It is a pristine piece of Baton Rouge's history that has been preserved with so much modern amenities in it as well. Even just going to the lobby bar to grab a cocktail or a glass of wine or dine at the Gregory is awesome. So if it's the Watermark downtown or the Renaissance Southtown on Bluebonnet for your next event, make it one of those 2 amazing properties. Call today at the Watermark or the Renaissance.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $11,000 off the new 23 Dodge Charger. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $11,000 off the powerful new Charger. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
He's here. Anyone want a Coors Light?
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
And congratulations to Long Island. Don't know anything about them, but their enthusiasm when they were announced, that always sticks out to me. You know, been at programs, you know, where that's a big day when you get that automatic bid as a mid-major that's a one-bid league.
That was Jay Johnson just minutes after the field was announced on Monday, and the video of the Long Island Sharks, I would presume they're in their team room watching the announcement, was one of the really cool parts of Selection Monday, and their head coach, Dan Pirillo, who's a Long Island alum, played ball there for the Sharks and has been their head coach now since 2017 in his 8th season, 3rd regional appearance. Good enough to join us. Coach, it's a pleasure. How are you?
Hey, Matt. Thanks for having me today.
It's absolutely our pleasure. Can you take us into that room whenever, like you won your tournament, you know your name's going to pop up on the screen, but obviously the enthusiasm from your guys was pretty awesome.
Absolutely. It's a great feeling for the guys. We knew, obviously with an automatic bid, we know we're going to be in the tournament, but just the anticipation that was building all year, the relief from winning a conference tournament, knowing we're going to play postseason baseball, it's just almost a deep sigh of relief, and knowing where we're going. UNC is going to be a great host. It's a great atmosphere here, so we're excited, and you can see that just coming through the TV.
It's your third time bringing the Sharks there into the NCAA tournament, but I would imagine the last time you went was 2 years ago in 2022. How much of a veteran presence is there on the team? How many guys were in the tournament there in 22?
There is a handful still on the team, and their key contributors, Seth Surratt in right field, Jack Power behind the plate. Those guys, were at the Maryland regional with us, and I think that's helped us get to where we are. It's helped us in the conference tournament, just being relaxed and knowing how to go, through the conference tournament and pick up wins. I think it'll help us this time around. I felt last regional we were, excited to be there, and everybody was new to it. There's a little bit more sense of we've been here before. Now let's see if we could do a little bit more.
Yeah, and I think some of that is reflected when you have a veteran team that's in that's experienced in tournament play. Like going through some of the game notes, my God, like the comebacks you all had, even in your conference tournament, was amazing. Like a 7-run ninth inning to win the finals. I mean, twice in elimination games you had massive innings. A 7-run eighth in the, I guess what would have been the elimination game before the finals. Like, what is it? I mean, do you as a coach, and you've coached long enough to know, is there something about a team, like some intangible thing that you can identify as a coach to say, yeah, when we're down, we just always feel like we're going to be able to come back?
Yeah, I think there is. I think there is an intangible thing that I think that it's present within this team. And I'd like to take credit for it, but I don't think I can. I think it's just veteran presence. It's being there before. It's knowing that, you're never out of a game. It's knowing the presence of a veteran offense that, just stay with it. Just full 9 innings, play the full 9 innings, and, see where you are at the end of 27 outs. We never feel like we're out of games. We feel like our bullpen will keep us there late. So, it's a sense of confidence. It's a sense of we've been there before. And this group, they're a really close group. Usually you do say that about championship teams, but this team, they pull for each other. They work their butts off for each other. So I think there's a lot of things that come together to make a year like this special.
Dan Pirillo is our guest, the head coach there at Long Island. The Sharks will take on North Carolina on Friday in the first game of the regional. I would assume Garrett Yawn, your ace, gets the ball. Is there any consideration to pitching off or anything like that?
Not necessarily pitching off. Garrett threw twice. We asked Garrett to. He started on 1 day's rest in our first elimination game. So he had a heavy workload last week. He threw Thursday about 100 pitches, and he came back on Saturday and threw about 90. Wow. So I don't know if we're going to need to give him an extra day. He bounces back really well. We're going to see how he throws here today. He's going to have a bullpen today. If he feels that fine, and believe me, I'd be shocked if he tells me he doesn't want the ball on Friday. But there is some consideration, but I would be fully expecting for him to be ready to start Friday's game.
So you get North Carolina on Friday, and you're going to get at least 2 games, and it's always interesting how coaches manage preparing for a regional because you don't want to waste time. I say waste. I use that term loosely and probably incorrectly, but you don't want to spend time preparing for an opponent you may not see. So how much time do you spend preparing for each of the 3 other teams in the regional?
Well, what we do is we'll put together stats for each team. We'll put 3 scouting reports together, and they consist of stats, lineups, previous lineups that each team has kind of run with, especially in the conference tournaments. But our main focus is going to be UNC. We're going to prepare for them tonight and tomorrow, and then Friday night, win or lose, depending on who we play, we'll prepare that night for the next day. So really our focus is game 1. We are ready for either team game 2, but our main focus is UNC.
Yeah, it's regional play is always going to be fascinating. And, I think sometimes we look at 1-4 matchups and just assume or take for granted that the host is going to win and move on. Do you address that with your team at all about the underdog mentality, the us against the world mentality? I mean, what is your message for your guys?
Yeah, it's along those lines. It's nothing that they don't know. They read all the articles and they know the odds are stacked against us, and we try to embrace it. I'm sure a lot of other 4 seeds in the tournament are going to do the same thing. But it's easy to embrace that underdog mentality and play with nothing to lose. My message tonight is I want them to go out and play with confidence. It doesn't matter who the opponent is, and as much as I can tell them that, it's, when you get under the lights and the fans start going crazy, it's a little bit harder. But if we play our game and throw strikes and do the important things in the game of baseball, I'd like to see where we end at the end of the day. And if we lose and we put our best out there, that's okay. But I'd like to. In previous regionals, we haven't been able to do that game one, and really doing everything we can to prepare them to put our best foot forward game one.
Couple more for you. I when I was looking at your bio, you did spend a year. You're from New York, and you played at Long Island, and you're coach there now. You did spend a year in Georgia, coaching in Georgia. What? And it was at Georgia College. But did you learn anything about the South or baseball in this region from that year you spent really in the belly of the beast?
Yeah, it's a different animal when you get to play year round. It's a different way of coaching and setting up practices. Baseball's still baseball. I think the ball travels a little bit more in the warmer weather than we do when we're at home playing a conference game in 35-degree weather. So that part is definitely different. But playing down here, I definitely learned a lot, different kind of style of offense. Different style of coaching practices. It was a great experience for me. Forever in debt for opportunities like that. So I feel like I still use some of the things today that I've learned back then.
You and I are close to the same age, but so you obviously have to be very familiar with LSU and their baseball history. Do you have memories like growing up watching any of those Skip Bertman LSU teams or any of the LSU teams with Palmineri?
Of course. Back then, I don't know if I knew who the coach was. You kind of just watch players and watch the game. And with media now, you know a little bit more about coaches and the staff and how things go about it. But I do remember, watching games, on LSU's home field on TV. As a kid, even with Major League Baseball on TV, you're still watching college baseball because it just seems so exciting. And LSU is one of those stadiums that it's forever ingrained in your mind when you're thinking about college baseball in the 90s and early 2000s.
Well, we're hoping to get to turn the lights back on at the box maybe in another week or so. Obviously, I'm sure you're not hoping for that very much, hoping for more success for your guys this weekend. But it's a great time of year. Congrats to you and your guys for making it. We're looking forward to seeing you play this weekend and see if you run up against the Tigers, Coach.
All right, thanks so much for having me, and I appreciate it. Hopefully we can stop baseball at LSU. We'll see.
It's going to be a fun weekend no matter what. Dan Pirillo, we appreciate some time, Coach. Thank you.
Have a good one.
All right, be well. Long Island, again, the 4 seed taking on number 1 North Carolina. We'll see how they advance. But again, third time in his 8 years as coach that he's got Long Island in the NCAA tournament. As he mentioned, they were in the Maryland regional just 2 years ago. So they do have some guys on that team that are seasoned. It's experience and belief when you're there does matter. Are you going to be overwhelmed by? It's like anything in life. The more experience you are doing something, the better you should be at doing it, because there's just going to be fewer surprises. You'll know what to expect. So we'll see how Long Island does drawing North. I can tell you this much: every LSU fan is going to be cheering for Long Island in that first game in that 1-4 matchup. So we'll see how it goes. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com, Michelli.com. You can go to the website, great resource, tell you about it all the time. Michelli's been around for 76 years, continuing to grow, expand their footprint. They're now in a dozen states, more than 30 offices across 12 states now as they continue to expand. I really want to remind you, though, everyone knows Michelli for scales, our nation's largest distributor of scales. But, so much of what they do centers around calibration of your precision measurement devices. So whatever type of calibration it may be, mass, torque, scale, force, temperature calibration, electronic calibration, pressure, humidity, they do it all. They offer ISO 17025 accreditation. So if you need it for those services and for that equipment, they can help at Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com, Michelli.com. All right, y'all. Hump Day AFR brought to you by Pluckers. Of course, trivia tonight over at Pluckers, Nicholson, and Bluebonnet. Taylor's here in 15 minutes. Do a little Bourbon Dictionary. You got booze questions. Get him in. We will do we got a lot of baseball stuff. So we'll look at Wofford next hour. Chase Justice, who covers Wofford, will be here in an hour. Slimbo, Ronnie Rantz, former LSU pitcher, saw him all season long on the SEC Network telecast for LSU. Ronnie will be in studio with us in hour 3. We'll talk a little bit about the Tigers and their draw, and also the Baton Rouge Rougarou, of course, the Collegiate Summer League here in Baton Rouge. Ronnie owns the Rougarou, and their opening day is tomorrow on Thursday, so wish them luck this summer as well. So we'll now get a quick break, come back. We'll go around the SEC, and we also look. Kylie McDaniel over at ESPN has his first MLB mock draft out, and it's interesting because we're going to keep following to see where LSU signees and current players, their underclassmen, fall in these mock drafts, because that's obviously just a huge part of college baseball, is watching what happens with the MLB draft. It is truly unique. There's no other draft like it where you can be picked and still choose to maintain your eligibility and come back to school. So we'll start that process of looking at what the roster next year is going to look like as this roster tries to make their run to and hopefully through Omaha. All right, well, now I got a quick break. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Man, I spoke with Darren James earlier today. Nobody hustles like Darren James. If you've ever hired a realtor, and maybe you hired your Aunt Claudia because she's a realtor and you know her, and you didn't get the results you wanted, can you really fire Aunt Claudia? What's it going to be like at Thanksgiving table? The bottom line is, if you need a realtor, you need the best, and Darren James is the best. Certainly, that's my opinion, but it's also objective fact. Wall Street Journal has listed the top 1% of realtors in America. The last time we saw that list, Darren was number 54 in the country, the top 1% of realtors in America. Nobody works like Darren James. Tells me all the time. Late to bed, early to rise, work like heck, and advertise. That's Darren James. He has a way of making you feel like you're his only client. So if you need to sell your home as this market starts to churn, you need the best. You need Darren James. Agent225.com. That's agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Our Rad Dad contest is back, presented by Roaming Shot Outdoors and Shooting Range. Upload a picture of your dad doing dad things to 1045ESPN.com for a chance to win him a Blackstone grill with all the accessories, one long-range shooting school class for 2 from Roaming Shot Outdoors and Shooting Range, steaks from Chris's Specialty Foods, a Hawk Soap gift basket, and a full throttle package from Finish Line Haircuts. We'll be choosing a winner June 14th. Happy Father's Day from Roaming Shot Shooting Range and 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Kylie McDaniel over at ESPN has put out his first mock draft for this summer's MLB draft, and there are a slew of Tigers and potential future Tigers in this draft. So we'll run through it. Connor Griffin, who we've talked about here for several years, he's they have him listed here as a shortstop. We know he's played some outfield as well. He's one of those, it's overused, but generational type prospect. Kylie McDaniel comps him to Corey Seager and Fernando Tatis to give you some perspective on the type of prospect we're talking about. Anyway, he's got Connor Griffin going 12 overall to the Boston Red Sox. If you're wondering, the slot value for the 12th pick is $5.4 million. The bottom line, Connor Griffin is never coming to LSU. It's a bummer. You'd love to see a guy like that in the purple and gold. But when and then you may say, look, well, Bregman got here and Cruz got here. And yes, that's true. They did. Bregman broke his hand his senior year and didn't have that. And then, Dylan Cruz was a one in a bajillion who had an astronomical number because he could turn down $3 million and did, and ended up making 3 times that when he ultimately was drafted. So most 18 years old, if you go dangle $3-4 million in front of them, they're taking it and should. I don't think we ever see Connor Griffin here. And that's not like a bold proclamation or anything. Cam Caminiti, the lefty out of Arizona, who's a cousin, by the way, of Ken Caminiti. They have him going 1 pick later at 13 overall, at $5.2 million slot value. So don't expect to see Cam Caminiti here either. The first LSU Tiger they project off the board, they being Kylie McDaniel in his mock draft. First LSU Tiger off the board, he's got Tommy White going 27 overall. I'll be very curious to see where Tommy White goes, and I think you're going to see a little bit of a range here, as best that I can gather. Tommy White obviously has had a fantastic college career, power to all fields. Kylie McDaniel lists him as a fine but not great defender at third base, and really the thing that I hear too much is his chase rates. The swing and miss for Tommy White is the thing that, when you're looking at such a thin margin, and high price talent, that could be a thing that maybe has one player project over another that's still a highly projected player. But I think we're going to see Tommy White anywhere from a 20s pick to a sandwich round to like early round 2. He'll be a top 50 guy. And I would love to see Tommy White come off the board in round 2. It would be such an amazing reward for an awesome college career, and obviously projectability is everything. But Tommy White, 27 to the Phillies. The other, that's it, by the way, for players in the first round. Now, the other thing that's interesting is Kylie McDaniel does also list other players in consideration for the next picks. And there are several current LSU players and signees. So among the high school pitchers, this won't come as a surprise to anybody. William Schmidt out of Calicut, he notes, should get a top 30 bonus even if he doesn't go in the top 30 picks. So remember, there's 30 picks in round 1. The 30th pick in round 1, the bonus value is $2.9 million. So essentially, Kylie McDaniel saying even if he goes outside of round 1, he's still going to get $3 million. So if William Schmidt gets offered $3 million, it's hard to imagine him showing up here. Boston Bateman, a lefty out of California, also listed there as well. These are all players you would not expect to show up at LSU. And then the other 2 current LSU players that are on the list, are a couple of pitchers that we would obviously expect to be here, and that's both Luke Holman and Gage Jump. So, if we see Luke Holman and Gage Jump go in the top 50, that would be, I think it would be great, especially for Jump, who hasn't pitched a lot in college, considering the Tommy John, and then really starting to emerge later in this season. So Luke Holman, Gage Jump, another couple of guys that they look and target as guys that could end up in the top 50 as well. So just a few names to keep an eye on. For me, I'll continue to say the most interesting part of this draft for LSU is going to be the draft-eligible sophomores, Jared Jones, Griffin Herring, Gavin Guidry, Paxton Kling. And I'm not necessarily telling you to think Kling and Guidry are high draft picks. I think they could be more transfer risks. Does Gavin Guidry want to play in the infield? I don't know. If he does, it's probably not going to happen here. Does Paxton Kling want to maybe step down a level in competition and go somewhere like in the ACC or somewhere or the Big 12 where he's going to be able to go and hit 300 and get 250 at-bats or 200 at-bats? So maybe. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I think those guys are going to be the most interesting. Does Griffin Herring come back and try to be a starter? How much money does Jared Jones get offered? Does he go? Those, I think, are going to be the more interesting questions for this draft cycle for LSU as it plays out. All right, we're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. Taylor Calandro in 5 minutes. We'll go around the SEC here in just a quick second. Of course, if you're in the market for a vehicle, nobody better than South Point Volkswagen. We've been completely converted to a Volkswagen family. I drive an Atlas Cross Sport. Erica drives an Atlas. My dad has a Tiguan. My cousin has a Cross Sport. My godparents bought an Atlas. I mean, they're amazing vehicles. You get the great German engineering, all the style, the feel, the performance of luxury, manufactured at their Chattanooga, Tennessee plant, so built in the USA. You get one of 9 different IIHS top safety picks, so that the safest vehicles on the road at a great value. And remember, if you're a college student, $500 discount on any vehicle for college students. Go learn more at southpointvw.com. You just click the tab right there at the top. And remember, the Memorial Day celebration is still going on. So if you want to shop the Memorial Day celebration and save, you can do so right now at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland or southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? Okay, let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the Kentucky Wildcats.
Dayton guard Kobe Bray is withdrawn from the NBA draft. He will play for Kentucky. 6'6" guard, played the last 4 seasons at Dayton. He's got 1 year of eligibility remaining. He was the 6th man of the year in the A-10, averaged 11 and 4 for the Flyers this past year.
The Missouri Tigers.
Safety Isaac Thompson has announced his medical retirement. Suffered a lower leg injury in the offseason leading up to 2023, which cost him the year. He underwent surgery, actually had 3 knee surgeries over a 2-year period. He was a former 4-star recruit in the class of 2022 out of St. Louis. Picked Mizzou over Arkansas, Texas, Michigan, Florida. So had some really big-time offers, but injuries have cut his career short.
Texas A&M!
And 2025 offensive lineman Tyler Thomas has committed to the Aggies. 6'5", 320. He's the 13th pledge of the 25 cycle for Mike Elko there in the state of Texas. He had offers from Texas, LSU, Ole Miss, Penn State, and others, but ultimately picked the Aggies. Okay, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. It's after further review. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. Trivia at Pluckers every Wednesday, 7:30 Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock Nicholson. And, of course, if you're going to play hooky on Friday and go watch some LSU baseball at 11 a.m., Pluckers is open at 11 a.m., so get on by to watch the Tigers take on Wofford this Friday at Pluckers, Nicholson or Bluebonnet. All right, we'll knock out a quick break, wrap up hour number 1. Taylor Calandro will be here for Bourbon Dictionary. Got booze questions, get them in. Email us, tweet us, text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Bourbon Dictionary is next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Action Industries, and I've told you for months now about Action Industries, a proud partner of LSU Athletics, and how Action Industries serves the petrochemical and refinery markets. But it's not just doing commercial construction work in the plants or contractor work in the plants. They also have fabrication shop services. Matter of fact, when I went to their main location, their location in Belrose, they were building. I mean, the fabrication shop was so active, and it was so impressive to see the vessels that they were building. If you need pressure vessels, pipe, structural steel, they do it all. And with pipe, they fabricate in separate shops, alloy and carbon steel. The two sections are segregated. You don't know why that's obviously important. They're ASME certified vessel manufacturer. They have the ASME stamps, all three, the R, the S, and the U stamps there at Action Industries. They're just the best, and they've been around since 1982. 42 years for Action Industries, proud partner of LSU Athletics.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They're the gang with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
All right, wrapping up hour number 1. You know the drill. Got a booze question. Get it in. Email us, tweet us, text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Taylor Calandro's here. How are you, dude?
Good. What's happening, Matt?
I saw that Steph Curry has introduced a new whiskey brand. Have you seen this?
No, I have not. I'm not familiar, but I'll look.
So this literally dropped. When you come on, I always go search, like in Google, I just do whiskey and then hit the news tab. And this was like 2 hours ago. So Steph Curry has introduced a 15-year-old straight bourbon whiskey, Players Exclusive. It's called the Gentleman's Cut. So yeah, man, I'm wondering how much is novelty, how much is actually good juice. It 75% corn, 21% rye, 4% malted barley. And it's apparently was distilled in 05, and it's been laid to rest in new oak barrels until 2020 when it was finally bottled. And now they're bringing it to market.
What? Wait, what? Distilled in 05?
05. It's a 15-year whiskey.
That doesn't math.
Well, no. So so they distilled it in 05, and then they aged it until 2020.
Okay.
Where then they laid it in new oak. No, I'm sorry, in 05, and then they distilled it until 2020 when it was bottled. So it was bottled in 2020. It's just now coming to market, though.
Interesting. I don't know anything about it, but I was kind of scanning through some stuff. The reviews aren't very good on it, and I mean, it's $90, but that's old whiskey.
I know, right?
Is it light whiskey though? Huh. I don't know.
Are there
any? I mean, there's tons of celebrity bottles, but there's lots of celebrity bottles. There's not lots of celebrity. I said there's not lots comparatively, like bourbons and whiskeys. I feel like they're more in the tequila category. I mean, I guess I don't know. I'm talking in circles, but yeah, I mean, I feel like the trend with the celebrities is like tequila, vodka, gin.
Are there any celebrity whiskeys that you think are a good product?
Man, I like Heaven's Door. That's Bob Dylan stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
There's several more out there. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. That Traveler whiskey from the Chris Stapleton stuff is not good.
What about Conor McGregor stuff? Proper 12.
It's fine. I mean, for Irish whiskey, I don't mind Proper 12.
Yeah.
It's fine. I mean, it's a serviceable Irish whiskey in my opinion.
What's new over there?
Well, we were supposed to get a Buffalo Trace pick last week, and I talked about it on the radio.
So I heard.
Our distributor made a foo-foo. They're renowned for that.
You're just making enemies today.
Dude, I've been building fortresses for years. But anyway, I don't care.
Clearly. Anyway, all right, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. It's sour. But yes, we're supposed to get our Buffalo Trace pick tomorrow at both locations.
Cool.
So I think there's going to be about 100 bottles at each location-ish. So hopefully tomorrow, and we just got Rally Cap designated SIPA, which is a SIPA, which is a double IPA, or is it a single IPA? I can't remember. Anyway, it's an IPA of sorts. It's really good. I had one over the weekend. It's creamy, kind of fruity, which I dig in IPAs. But yeah, your East Coast style IPA.
Very cool. Rally Cap's done a good job, man. I like their products, and they've done some good IPAs too. So
yeah, and we're in the thick of baseball season. I don't know if you knew that.
So I heard, and I'm hoping that the Tigers just continue playing on and on and on and on and on and on forever, and give us lots of opportunity to drink more beer. All right, let's get to questions.
Yeah,
you know the drill. You got a question for Taylor? Fire away. Email us, tweet us, or text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Speaking of whiskey, here's one from Byron Tolles who said, ask Taylor, what do you think about JT Mellick Rice whiskey? I think we might have had that last week or a couple of weeks ago, but go ahead with it.
Well, I mean, I think we've probably talked about Louisiana whiskey before, and I brought it up. I really enjoy JT Mellick whiskey. They do it correctly. It's 100% rice, and don't let that throw you off. I think they do the process right. They just put out a high proof. I'll put that in quotations. What they call it's 118 proof. Really good. I'm looking at one on my bar right now. For Louisiana whiskey, and I'm not just saying for Louisiana whiskey. It is good whiskey. They're doing good stuff. I like JT Mellick.
Okay, cool. Tybers Hertz asked Taylor, what do you think of the Shea Cognac?
Shea Cognac.
SHAY?
Not familiar with that.
Can you
never heard of? I mean, I love cognac, but I've never heard of Shea Cognac.
I just looked this up. It said I just typed it. The first thing that came up is Laportier, Laportier.
Laportier, I'm not familiar with that either.
Well, that's what it says, Laportier Shea Cognac. Anyway, John asked Taylor, Angels Envy, good or not?
I liked Angels Envy. We talk about the rye. The bourbon's good. The bourbon's finished in Portwood, so you're going to get like a little fruity-ish tinge on the back end. And that's a really great selling whiskey. The rye is awesome. It's not a traditional rye at all. It's sweet. It's finished in rum barrels, but not cloyingly sweet. It's a good little sipper on the rocks, especially this time of year.
All right, last one. We're under a minute. Ashley asked Taylor, a rye versus sour mash. Why one over the other?
I think it's personal preference. Rye is kind of polarizing with people, and I've found that a lot more lately because rye is becoming a more prominent. People are, I like rye, but I find that people love it or hate it. Sour mash is just very agreeable. It's really kind of apples and oranges, whatever you prefer. If you prefer more of a traditional style-ish, and in quotations, bourbon, you'll like sour mash. If you want it a little more spicy, rye is your thing.
Taylor Calandro, Wine and Spirits Directors over at Calandro's. Thanks, dude.
All right, Matt. See you.
All right, man. Hour number 2, kicking it off with some Saints talk next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawbillsTire.com. ShawbillsTire.com. We're right in the thick of vacation season, y'all. If you're going to be hitting the road vacationing here this summer, like many of us are, before you hit the road, make sure you bring your vehicle to Shawbills. ShawbillsTire.com. ShawbillsTire.com is the website to schedule your service. If you need tires, you'll buy the best tires on the road. Name brand tires at wholesale prices. I say it all the time. Shawbills is going to be the cheapest place to buy the best tires. Cheaper than the membership clubs, the box stores, the other tire stores. They guarantee it. Part of the Charlie's Dozen is the Charlie's money back guarantee, the price match guarantee. If you buy tires at Shawbills and then find the same tires advertised cheaper, they'll refund you 125% of the difference. What do you got to lose? Need tires? You need to go to Shawbills. But they can do oil changes and tire rotations and everything else. It's Shawbills. ShawbillsTire.com. ShawbillsTire.com. Shawbills. We keep you rolling.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $11,000 off the new 23 Dodge Charger. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $11,000 off the powerful new Charger. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Charges have been dropped against world number one golfer Scottie Scheffler. The Jefferson County Attorney's Office in Louisville, Kentucky, said they reviewed the case and found evidence corroborated Scheffler's account that the traffic incident outside Valhalla Golf Club earlier this month was a big misunderstanding. Clippers coach Ty Lue signed a new deal through the 2028-2029 season, makes him one of the NBA's highest paid coaches at about $14 million a year, reports ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. USC freshman Bronny James will stay in June's NBA draft and forego his remaining collegiate eligibility. The 19-year-old son of LeBron James has had a strong pre-draft process and elevated his standing, notes ESPN NBA draft analyst Jonathan Givony.
His stock has improved. He's moved firmly into the second round, and I think that he's going to continue to help himself here in this process. Several players ranked ahead of him are expected to withdraw from the draft, and so he could be looking at, the early to mid-second round when it's all said and done.
The Oilers down 2-1, home to the Stars in Game 4 of the NHL's Western Conference Final tonight.
As humans, we like having options. One option you might like is speaking with a real person when you call about your credit card. With 24/7 live, U.S.-based customer service from Discover, everyone can talk to a real person anytime, day or night. Limitations apply. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
And Mr. Toby Tom Plate. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. LSU plays Wofford Friday at 11 a.m. Central. Chase Justice covers the Wofford Terriers. He'll be here in 15 minutes from right now. We'll talk some LSU with Ronnie Rantz, of course, former LSU pitcher, two-time national champ, now with the SEC Network, and, of course, the owner of the Baton Rouge Ruger as their season begins on Thursday. Slimbo will be here in studio with us in hour number 3. So the Saints continue rolling on with OTAs, and today was a particularly fascinating day because the media was allowed to speak to both Trevor Penning and Taysom Hill, two of really the more interesting guys on this roster when you look at what their role will be in a new offense here with Clint Kubiak. We know Sean Payton and his staff drafted Trevor Penning. Rookie season derailed by injury. Last year, he was the left tackle to start the season. It went very poorly, and he went to basically just a tackle eligible. Now it's a reset of his career. Taysom Hill was a quarterback in Green Bay. Sean Payton is the one who identified, I know what to do with that guy, and created the Swiss Army knife role for Taysom Hill. Well, now both Payton and Carmichael are gone, so what does this look like? I think that's fascinating. And when Taysom Hill met with reporters at OTAs, he acknowledged that he right now, it looks dramatically different than it did with San Francisco or than it did prior before Kubiak came here?
It's weird to say after 7 years of doing what I've been doing that I'm being asked to do things that I've never done before. But I think that is exciting. That is exciting to me, and it's challenging, and I love to be challenged like that. So, man, I'm grateful for those guys creating unique opportunities and fun opportunities for me.
When the Saints hired Kubiak, one of the conversations we had here was about specifically Taysom Hill in the tight end role. Because when you look at Kubiak, he has had traditional tight ends. And I think that does not bode well in this offense for Juwan Johnson and Taysom Hill because they are not typical three-point stance attached tight ends. Foster Moreau is. Another reason why people are excited about the undrafted free agent out of Colorado State. You're looking for a more traditional, functional tight end in the offense. The other thing that San Francisco has done is used a fullback in Kyle Juszczyk. And look, Taysom Hill joked about it. He's putting a hand in the dirt.
You know, it's funny. I haven't had to practice my three-point stance for a little while, so I've been doing the tight end stuff. So that's a little more natural than you would expect, but certainly haven't done it out of the backfield like that.
So I started to look at a comp, and we did this about a month ago, but I want to look at it now a little more deeply, especially since Taysom Hill is telling you he's lining up in the backfield. He's putting his hand in the dirt. He's effectively acting like a fullback. Well, who was the fullback in San Francisco's offense? Well, it was Kyle Juszczyk, who's one of the best fullbacks in the NFL. To be clear, the Saints have a couple of fullbacks on the roster. They've got Adam Prentice still on the roster, and they've got Xander Horvath on the roster out of Purdue. But if what you're looking for is a Kyle Juszczyk, consider this. Just size-wise, Taysom Hill, 6'2", 221. Juszczyk, who I think we probably feel is a lot bigger, is 6'2", 235. So they're the same height. Juszczyk's about 14 pounds heavier. And we know what Taysom Hill went through last year when they completely removed him from the quarterback conversation and said, hey, go put weight back on. We don't need you leaning out to be a quarterback. Just go be the tight end, put some bulk on. He did. The interesting thing about their production is when we look at that San Francisco offense, as good as they've been, my impression was that Juszczyk was just more of an offensive threat and not solely a blocker. But honestly, his best rushing season was back in 2020. He had 17 attempts for 64 yards. Last year with Clint Kubiak, Kyle Juszczyk had, in 17 games, had 5 carries. As a matter of fact, in his career, Juszczyk's entering year 12. Started his career in Baltimore. After 4 years with the Ravens, he went to San Fran where he's found a home. Kyle Juszczyk, in his career, has 62 rushing attempts. Last year, Taysom Hill alone last year had 81. Taysom Hill had more rushing attempts in 2023 than Kyle Juszczyk has had in a dozen years in the NFL, to put some perspective on it. So if they're actually going to use Taysom Hill as a fullback, does he still get touches? Kyle Juszczyk, as a pass catcher, last year was targeted 17 times with 14 receptions. Taysom Hill had his best receiving season last year with 33 catches. His previous high was 19. Now, granted, he was splitting time at receiver and at that tight end / role and quarterback. But the point is, while I know I'm guilty of this, I had this impression of Kyle Juszczyk as this offensive threat within that, this weapon within that offense. It's not really the case. Maybe a decoy, but more of a blocker. So is that how they're using Taysom Hill here? Like, hey, bulk up and be more of a blocker, and we'll get you the ball as well in creative roles. I'm not sitting here trying to argue in any way about the comparison, their dynamic ability as a runner. Clearly, Taysom Hill with the ball in his hand is a much, much better player, much more dynamic player than Kyle Juszczyk. But I'm just saying how is Clint Kubiak trying to use them? Because I don't see Taysom Hill in this offense, in Clint Kubiak's offense, as a tight end. He is not a prototype tight end. Foster Moreau is. Juwan Johnson isn't. So how does this look moving forward? That's going to be fascinating. The fact that Taysom Hill's telling you he's carrying the football, it's a running back, he's putting his hand in the dirt, tells you they're getting creative. As a matter of fact, Like, he talked about taking carries at running back, which has been something different for him during his time in New Orleans.
I mean, I can think of a couple carries that I got at the running back position through the years, but I don't know, 10. You know, it's not very many. So that has been new. You know, just figuring out different tracks and stuff, and that has been new.
To be very clear as well, I am not saying this is a bad thing. I think it's just a creative challenge for Clint Kubiak to figure out how to use Taysom Hill in this offense. One thing's for certain, he's never going back to quarterback. Okay. And if he doesn't actually map, even if you have him listed as a tight end on the depth chart, he doesn't map to what Kubiak wants as a tight end. So what do you do with him? That's an interesting challenge. But the biggest advantage this may bring is not being predictable by personnel. When Taysom Hill was attached as a tight end, hand in the dirt tight end, like, we know they weren't running the ball behind Taysom Hill to the heavy side because he's not an inline blocker. So in a sense, you become predictable by personnel. If Taysom Hill is on the field, now lining up at a three-point stance behind Derek Carr, well, is he blocking? Is he getting the ball? Are they handing him the ball? Is he going out for a pass out of the backfield? Are you going to toss him the ball, let him throw it? I guess that's the point. Like, as dynamic as Taysom Hill has been, as multidimensional as he has been, this makes him even more dangerous, potentially, if they figure out how to use it. So that's going to be so interesting for me as they move through this season to see how all that maps out. And I want to be able to spend more time on Trevor Penning, and we will get to that. But maybe the most interesting thing from Penning is it seems like his move to the right side is something he's embracing. Can you play 5, please? Like, I don't know what I would expect him to say, but it feels like this is the right thing to say.
I think it'll be great for not only me, but the rest of the O-linemen. We have a lot of athletes, so I think it's going to utilize our athleticism a lot more than the past. And, being able to get the ball outside on the perimeter, just being able to run off the ball and, attack the defense.
I think for this offense to work, Trevor Penning may be, it's so weird to say it this way, he may be the most important guy. And I understand quarterback is the most important piece. You need better play out of Derek Carr. But, we know what Derek Carr is. We know what Alvin Kamara, Jamal Williams, Kendre Miller can be at the running back position. You know what you have with Olave and Shaheed, and we assume a number 3 receiver will develop, and you got bodies. What you don't have are answers on the offensive line. And it feels like whatever your offensive line is this year, you can't know it fully until we know where Trevor Penning slots in. Is he your starting right tackle? Do you move him to left guard? Is he not a starter at all? It feels like you have to know the answer to that question before you can start putting the rest of the pieces in place. So maybe a new offense, a scheme that fits him a little bit better, maybe that's the unlock for Trevor Penning to become a viable starting offensive lineman in the NFL. Certainly a hope for the Saints this year. All right, we're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, lmfj.com. Graduation season has come and gone, but it's not too late. If you haven't gotten that graduate in your life a gift yet, you can certainly do it over at Lee Michaels. Go to the website, lmfj.com, lmfj.com. They got tons of affordable gifts. Beautiful watches and timepieces, writing instruments. If you want to get rings or earrings or necklaces or pendants or bracelets, get a great selection at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. 9 locations, 2 in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport. If you go to the website, scroll down, you'll see the graduation gift guide if you're still looking for the perfect gift for the graduate in your life. lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Again, lmfj.com. Okay, it's After Further Review, presented by Pluckers. Let me knock out a quick break. LSU, Wofford, 11 a.m. Central Time Friday at the Chapel Hill Regional. Chase Justice covers the Wofford Terriers. He's with us after this break. Also, Bryce Underwood, 5-star number 1 quarterback in the country, LSU commit. He was a guest on Crane & Company up in Nashville earlier today and was asked how solid his LSU commitment is. We're going to get to that in about 45 minutes. We've got a ton to do. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
Y'all, the weather outside is getting warm. You know that. We're in the 90s every day. The triple-digit temps are around the bend. Don't get stuck sweating inside with a broken-down AC. The most important thing you can do is make sure that your Home Central AC is in tip-top shape. Make sure you call and get that preseason AC tune-up. Cheryl Cloud sent this 5-star Google review, which I always love sharing these with you because third-party validation is so important. Carter Norman, the technician, was very professional. He took time in explaining the upcoming service to me before he even started the work. Kept me updated throughout the process, went over the list of completed items once he was done. Very friendly and prompt with the work. Extremely pleased with River City's 1-hour air. It's why you see so many of the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side all over town, throughout your neighborhood, because for more than 40 years, that's the level of service they provide. 752-0001.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
LSU draws Wofford in the 2-3 matchup there at the Chapel Hill Regional, 11 a.m. Central Time on Friday. Chase Justice covers Wofford for WIFF News 4 there in South Carolina. Good enough to join us for a couple of minutes. Hey, Chase, we appreciate it, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Matt, how you been doing today?
Very well, thank you. What's a reaction up there to the draw?
Well, I mean, come getting the defending national champs, especially with how LSU has been playing as of late, I don't think anybody is going to say it's a favorable draw for Wofford, just their second tournament appearance ever in school history, first since 2007. But from talking to Coach J.J. Edwards and just his first year at the helm for the Wofford Terriers, I mean, they're ready. They're not there just to take part. They're looking to hopefully get their first ever tournament win in program history. So it's definitely a formidable opponent. I don't think they're in the same ballpark as a Long Island where they're just happy to be there.
You look at Wofford, and there's a lot of things on paper that stand out. And I was looking at your bio. So you went to South Carolina, so you're familiar with SEC baseball and the caliber of ball that this league plays in.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask about Wofford's offense. So they hit 340 as a team, which is tops of the 64 teams in the field. It's almost astonishing to say it. I think it is fair to look and say, okay, well, but then look at the strength of schedule of the competition. So make sense of that for me. How good is this offense really?
I mean, the offense on paper, as you said, they can hit the mess out of the ball. 7 of their 9 daily starters are batting over 325 on the season, which is just ridiculous when you think about it. All 9 of their daily starters are batting over 290. So this is a dangerous team. Marshall Toole, their leadoff hitter and center fielder, he's broke Terrier's single-season hits record and steals record this year. So if they're going to find a way to win, especially against a team like LSU, it probably starts with them. But as you said, just how battle-tested are they? They had to win 5 games in 7 days just to get here. So kind of played a similar road to the tournament that LSU had to go through. Obviously not the same type of dogs that you have to play in the SEC. And Wofford, throughout the regular season, only matched up with one team in the tournament. That was Georgia in a midweek back in March. They lost, I think it was 18-8. So on paper, they didn't play the strongest strength of schedule, but coming out of a mid-major, one of the non-Power 5 schools, conferences, it's going to be a tough team.
I looked at that game, 18-6. They were run ruled in 8 innings back on March the 19th. It was the one that kind of stood out when you kind of look at, all right, well, who were their common opponents or who were where was the strength of schedule in there? But I also noticed not a lot of home runs, but they're pretty active on the bases. Is that a fair characterization?
Yeah, it sure is. They definitely like to manufacture base runners. Coach Edwards has them playing very sound baseball. They're not going to blow you away with any specific statistics as far as hitting the ball out of the ballpark. But it's a good team, and as everybody knows at this point in the year, it's all about who's playing the best baseball on a game-to-game basis. I mean, as far as pitching goes, Zach Cohen is their guy. He won the SoCon tournament MVP, only making 2 appearances in the entire conference tournament. He's a sophomore right-hander, sub 3.6 ERA. So I'm assuming that's going to be the guy they toss out there on Friday. It probably starts and ends with just how good of a performance he's able to have against a lineup like LSU that, I mean, it's just hitting the mess out of the ball right now, and they're certainly playing their best baseball all season long. So if they're going to find a way to get it done, it probably starts with Zach Cohen having a good outing. But yeah, I mean, Wofford's as dangerous as they come for a 3 seed.
If Zach Cohen was on a typical SEC roster, where would he fall into a weekend? Would he be a Friday night SEC guy? Would he be a Sunday SEC guy? Would he be a midweek guy? What do you think?
I think he'd probably be a Saturday or Sunday starter, certainly a weekend starter, and they were Wofford was actually able to retain a lot of their guys with a first-year head coach and J.J. Edwards taking over for Todd Interdonato, who left for Boston College at the end of last season. They have a lot of guys on this roster that certainly could play at the Power 4, Power 5 level. I think Cohen is one of them that they were able to retain just by promoting a coach that had been with the program for 10 to 15 years, kind of keeping their guys intact. But I certainly think he could be a weekend guy for a Power 4 team.
Okay. Do you know, and I know we kind of looked at, I haven't seen a pitch, right? I'm looking at it on paper. And we're all assuming, I think, that's who LSU will face on Friday. Scouting report, I mean, he's a smaller guy, sub 6 foot, but is it mid-90s fastball? Like, what's the stuff look like?
I think just like the rest of this team, nothing on paper is really going to blow you away. I believe his fastball sits low 90s, so not as far as a flamethrower, not too much on that end. But, I mean, he's only given up, I believe, opposing batting average of 240, and he has well over 100 innings pitched on the year. So, I mean, he's someone that they throw out there consistently. He's going to give you 7 innings. He's not going to get rattled too easily. Usually if he's going to allow a run, he's going to try to cap it at that 1 run. He's not somebody that's kind of known for giving up 5, 6, 7, those explosive innings that can just kill you at this point in the tournament. So he's a formidable starter, that's for sure.
Yeah, I noticed in his first outing this season, he went 4 2/3 against Bucknell. That was his shortest outing of the season. So they lean on him. I mean, he's going to extend deep into the game. If we do see the bullpen, how is the Wofford bullpen?
Wofford bullpen, I mean, they're strong enough. They have, I think, 6 or 7 guys on their roster that have thrown over 35 innings pitched. Really only 2 starters that they like to lean on week in and week out. That's Cohen and then Camden Wicker would usually be their number 2. As we said, I'm assuming Cohen is the one that gets thrown in there on Friday, being Wofford's not going to look to go 1 game down in a tournament setting like this. But they do have a couple of guys out of the bullpen, a couple of submarine guys, a couple of guys that, I mean, you're not really going to get too much of on a day-to-day basis. That can kind of extend that game for Wofford. If they can keep it close in the first 5 or 6 innings, they have guys that can usually keep runs off the board as far as setup guys go in the 6th, 7th, and 8th inning. So if they can keep it close there through the first half of the game, this could potentially be a little bit closer of a game than I think some might expect out of this one.
Okay. Chase Justice is with us, WYFF News 4, covering Wofford, good enough to give us some perspective. As you mentioned, this is only the 2nd tournament appearance in program history for Wofford, 07 and now 2024. How do you think, just being around this team, the newness of this for these guys, not having tournament experience, weighs on them, if at all?
I don't think it weighs on them too much. And from talking to Coach Edwards, I actually asked him that very question. Having a team full of players, not a single player on their roster, and in the era of the transfer portal, I felt like I had to ask this. Nobody on their roster has tournament experience. They only have 1 coach on their roster that has even coached or played in a tournament game before. So I think they're kind of looking at that as a positive. They know that having won 5 games in 7 days just to get here, they're pretty battle tested. They had to go through it. They had to face teams that definitely were a lot more well rested than they were coming into the SoCon tournament as a 5 seed. So I don't think the lights are going to be too bright for them. But as we've seen with LSU, the team is just coming on so strong as of late, especially at the plate. They're an offensive juggernaut, so they are certainly a team that can score runs in a hurry. I'm not sure if Wofford is that same type of team. They like to nickel and dime you a little bit. They like to keep things close and then maybe try to have a 1-run or a 2-run inning at the very end of the game that might get them over the top. So I think we'll have a good idea of just how this game is going to shake out in the first couple of innings, but I don't think they're going to be overly rattled heading into their first tournament appearance since 2007.
How far is Spartanburg from Chapel Hill? Like, are you expecting a lot of fans to make that trip? Mostly because of the proximity?
The proximity certainly is there. I saw the get-in price for the Chapel Hill region was sitting somewhere in the low to mid $200. So it's about a 3.5-hour drive from Spartanburg. I'll actually be doing that drive tomorrow. The Wofford fans do travel a little bit. I don't think it'll be enough to have any type of home field advantage, especially considering LSU. I'm sure their fans are going to travel as well, and UNC's fans, we know how they're going to be at the Bosch. So I don't think that'll factor in too much, but it's only a 3.5-hour drive.
Postseason baseball, man, it's here, and it's always a lot of fun. Chase Justice will be covering that Chapel Hill Regional for WYFF News 4. We appreciate a couple of minutes, man. Thanks so much for the time.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it.
It's our pleasure. Interesting to learn about Wofford. It's a team, obviously LSU fans are going to learn for the first time. And you can look at them on paper and the stats pop. They bat .340 and they have a guy that is their Friday night dude. Interesting perspective. And I'm glad Chase, as an SEC guy, I went to South Carolina. Obviously, they got a great baseball program and tradition. I asked the question about Zach Cohen. I also now know it's Cohen, not Cowan, but it's Cowan. They're Friday night guy. Said he'd probably be a Saturday or Sunday guy in the SEC. So that's some good perspective, right? You're seeing their best guy, but it's not going to be anything you haven't seen all year, which is one of the reasons why offensively, even though with LSU you think would jump and home and they're leading with pitching, and with respect to the offense, which has played much better here of late, it's one of those things where you can look and go, you could probably see the offense really get going because it might feel like a game 2 or 3 in the SEC offensively. So, in any event, we appreciate it. If you missed, we had Dan Pirillo here in hour 1. He's the head coach at Long Island, so we got some perspective on Long Island. We'll see if we get a North Carolina preview tomorrow as well, as the Tigers and Tar Heels will likely tangle at some point this weekend. All right, it's After Further Review, brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. That's WilliamsonEye.com for the Williamson Eye Center. Love telling you about Dr. Blake Williamson and how he changed my life. I know I say it often, and I mean it. Being able to ditch contacts and glasses forever it's life-changing. To wake up in the morning and just be able to see, and if you're someone who's blessed with good genetics and eyesight and you haven't never needed glasses or contacts, then you can't understand. But if you're someone who's like me, who started wearing glasses when you're in in middle school and contacts in the 8th grade and had them until I had LASIK 5 years ago, you can empathize. You know what I'm talking about. But to wake up in the morning and just see, to not have to worry about your contacts or your glasses or pack an extra pair of lens when you travel, or does your contact rip, or is it eye irritating? Do you have your contact solution? I mean, all that's to never have to worry about that again. It's so liberating. And you can have that feeling as well. Dr. Blake Williamson makes that happen every day. It's the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com, WilliamsonEye.com. All right, y'all. It's After Further Review. As we mentioned, Bryce Underwood is in Nashville for the On3 Elite event. Shea Dixon, who was here with us yesterday, spoke a little bit about that event. If you missed that interview, you can catch Shea's interview on demand, however you get your podcast. Just search After Further Review, of course, AFR On Demand, presented by Brett Golf. But Bryce Underwood is there in Nashville, and he visited with our guys from Crane & Company this morning. So we're going to get in 30 minutes from right now. We'll let you hear some of what he had to say, including affirming his commitment to LSU. So we're going to get to that. Ronnie Rantz will be here in studio with us in hour 3. We'll get sort of some LSU perspective on the Tigers going into this regional. Pluckers trivia, Otter Locks, ton to do. When we come back from this break, though, one of the things that in all of the change in college football that's going on right now, and Ross Dellinger was here last week, did an awesome job explaining all this. One of the things that's being considered is reshaping roster limits. And what that might mean for football is doing away with walk-ons. Well, with the SEC spring meetings going on right now, basically every coach and athletic director is talking about potential roster limits in football. And there is a consensus, and I want to talk about it when we come back. It's AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon. Get it done. Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys. Of course, Gordon wishing all the purple and gold Tigers much success here in the Chapel Hill Regional. Guys like Gavin Guidry and Hayden Travinsky and Alex Milazzo. So many members of the Tiger baseball team are also members of the G team, as we've talked about for 2 years now. Gordon's done an incredible job giving these amazing NIL opportunities to young student athletes, both male and female, in all different sports. But, of course, with the Tiger baseball team looking to make a run back to Omaha, hopefully back to Rocco's for the Jello Shot Challenge, where, of course, the 88 hats for the Jello Shots were made famous last year after Gordon went and bought over 8,000 Jello shots. We're certainly looking forward to it as well. But as we always say, if you've been injured in an accident and it's not your fault, you need an attorney. You need an experienced attorney that's not afraid to go to court. You need Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. So call 888-8888 or go to getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. It's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Elevate brand visibility, ignite customer engagement with the power of radio and digital advertising combined. Guarantee Digital Media brings the two together as a trusted media partner in Louisiana for nearly a century. Claim your free digital audit at guaranteemedia.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile.
It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile bank.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Yeah, I mean, I'm strongly against it. I think it's absolutely against college football, what it stands for, what it's about. I think that'll be a major problem, especially when you look at legacies of Texas A&M kids that are going to get the opportunity to play football at Texas A&M potentially taken away from them. I think that's something that's really bad for the sport.
It's Texas A&M head coach Mike Elko when he was asked about eliminating walk-ons, which is being considered right now. So with all of the settlement that's happened with the NCAA and the House as they move toward this evolving world where some $20 million annually per school is going to be shared, of the revenue is going to be shared with student athletes. Cost-cutting matters are going to be part of the sports. Now, there's going to be definite pros as well. What's being discussed is you're going to do away with the 11.7 in baseball. Like, you'd be able to offer scholarships to 35 players potentially, which is awesome. It's something that those of us who love college baseball have been screaming about forever, the inequity of 11.7 scholarships for baseball. If there are programs that can afford more scholarships, why not? Well, here we are. So the interesting thing, though, about walk-ons is I'm curious, like, if you do cut walk-on programs, how much does that actually save? Like, for example, Kirby Smart. I mean, right now, I think we'd all argue Kirby Smart, any coaching list in college football with Nick Saban having retired, Kirby Smart's going to be number one on everybody's list. So Kirby says something, people rightly should listen. Here was Kirby Smart talking about walk-ons.
When you look at Dabo Swinney's career, Will Muschamp's career, you look at Ladd McConkey, you look at the guys that have come to schools as walk-ons and then gone on to be successful football players, successful coaches, successful at everything they do. They overcame the ultimate odds. I don't know anybody that would be against having those walk-ons. At what cost does that bring us? You know, I think it hurts high school football and football as a whole when kids can't even dream about what I might be able to do if I can't get an opportunity.
So there's two things there Kirby said that I want to address. One is, you know, at what cost? And maybe I'm looking at it in a literal sense, like a financial sense, because I have no idea what the cost of a walk-on is. You're not obviously paying for a scholarship. Walk-ons aren't traveling to conference games, so it's not a seat on the plane. It's not a room in the hotel. Like, there a lot of those fixed costs associated with members of your football team aren't there for walk-ons. Yes, you have to give them equipment. And yes, they can grab, a Powerade and a bottle of water in the facility, and they can eat in the dining room and all that stuff. So, like, there is that cost associated, but how much is that? I mean, Kalen DeBoer said that he's had rosters with 105 players, and he's had rosters with 135 players. Obviously, if you have that walk-on program where you can have 85 scholarships and up to 120 when you're talking about walk-ons. So, listen, yes, there is a rich history of walk-ons. You heard Kirby Smart mention Dabo and Ladd McConkey. Baker Mayfield walked on at Texas Tech, transferred to Oklahoma, won a Heisman, became the number 1 pick in the draft. The guy was a walk-on. Our buddy Chris Doering. Chris Doering was a walk-on at the University of Florida. When his career ended, he was the SEC's all-time leader in receiving touchdowns. That was only broken by Devontae Smith, who won a Heisman Trophy. Texas A&M, their whole 12th man program, it's all centered around walk-ons. I mean, look at LSU. Josh Williams was a walk-on, worked his behind off, became a scholarship back, and has been a really good college football player. Hell, Brandon Landry's whole restaurant empire is built off being a walk-on. I mean, yes, I'm all for it. I don't think anybody would be against it. Here's the thing, though, that I try to consider. Like, when LSU won the national championship in 2019, like, would any of us have enjoyed that less if there were no walk-ons? I think we know the answer. I'm not heartless, I promise. Like, some of you go, man, you're trying to crush walk-ons? What about Rudy? Whatever. I'm not heartless, and I see the value. You're expanding the roster. You're giving scout team looks. You're obviously giving young guys an opportunity to wear the uniform and go to practice and be part of something. I'm all of that. I'm for it, just like all the coaches are for it. But the other part of what Kirby Smart said is, like, you don't even allow them the opportunity to dream. Well, yeah, you do. It's just the path is different. Coming out of high school, instead of going to be a preferred walk-on, maybe the path is, if you really love to play, you're going to go FCS and play for a year or two and then get the opportunity. Like Jared Verse did when he went to Albany. Like Braden Fisk did at Central Michigan, then went to Florida State. I mean, we can run through a long list of players, especially in the portal era, where that's going to be a path a lot of guys take. And especially since you no longer have the hard cap on recruiting classes and the transfer portal's in play, you are going to see less teams take the marginal 2 or 3 star player or as a preferred walk-on, because you can take a transfer portal player instead. You can take a guy with 3 or 4 years experience. So it's not to say the path will never be there. It's just to say the path is going to be a different path to get there. So I don't know. I'm not pounding the table telling you, get rid of walk-ons. They're pointless. I'm not saying that at all. And all the coaches want walk-on programs, and I believe there's value and merit to it. The thing, however, that is going to be part of every conversation heretofore, which is why when that House case was settled with the NCAA, I described it, I believe rightly, as a landmark day that will shape the history of intercollegiate athletics. Every decision that's going to be made heretofore is going to have these consequences in mind. What does it cost? Because this is going to force, again, the adults to be fiscally responsible. Instead of spending money you don't have or spending money frivolously, you're going to have to tighten the belt and balance a budget. Actually balance a budget. Like we all have to do in our homes, our families. And there are going to be casualties. There will be programs lost. There will be employees lost. There will be things that have to go that have been spent frivolously. I'm not saying a walk-on program is frivolous spending. I'm just saying there are going to be cost-cutting measures in every sport across the board. And this might be one of them. We'll see if the coaches lobbying to keep a walk-on program ultimately gets it there, but it's something that is clearly going to be considered as you look at roster limits. All right, y'all. It's After Further Review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. We're brought to you by Pure Restoration, pure-restoration.com, pure-restoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor. If you got mold, think you might, call our friends at Pure Restoration. This is so easy. It's a patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. And of all the licenses, about 200 different companies in the country have a license to use this technology. Nobody does more volume than Pure Restoration in the country. I've told you about Jim Woodworth in the past. Buddy of mine's an Air Force veteran who his career has really taken him through a lot of restoration. Whenever he was there at Ground Zero 9/11, post 9/11, helping with the recovery effort there. Made his way down south after the BP oil spill, helped with the recovery effort there. Of course, with Pure Restoration, a patented non-toxic dry fog for your single home residential or single family residential home. If it's an enormous commercial building, they've actually dry fogged one of the largest buildings in the state of Louisiana, about a 250,000 square foot building. It's Pure Restoration. Pure-restoration.com. Pure-restoration.com. Okay. We'll knock out our final break of hour number 2. You still have Tigers in the pros. We will talk about Bryce Underwood in about 15 minutes. He sort of reaffirmed his commitment to LSU today. We'll get to that. Ronnie Rantz will be in studio. We'll talk a little regional baseball, Pluckers trivia, Otter Locks. Ton to do, and glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Glow Resources, complete employer solutions. If you're a business owner, you're struggling through that hiring process, and maybe not the hiring process, but the finding suitable employees that will stay and that will be on time. That's the hard part, right? Finding reliable employees. Well, Glow Resources helps with that. And one of the reasons they're so good at doing that is Glow Resources conducts about 15,000 interviews a year. They've gotten really good at identifying what questions to ask to make sure that as they're going through that screening process, they're getting people that meet the physical requirements, the skilled requirements and capabilities for a certain job, that they have reliable transportation. So your employees show up on time and continuously do. It's Glow Resources. GLO, glowresources.com.
When things heat up, you don't just want a cold one. You want the coldest one. The cold lagered, cold filtered, cold packaged one. Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today. Or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Brack teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Brack, your #1 park system in the nation.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at Sunequip.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Okay, wrapping up hour number 2, Muso. Tigers in the Pros.
Tigers in the Pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
How about this report from Charlie Walters of the St. Paul Pioneer Press?
Let's go.
Our guy Charlie reports that the Vikings were trying to trade up with the Chargers to the 5th overall pick so that they could draft LSU receiver Malik Neighbors.
Saw that.
But it goes deeper than that. What would happen with Justin Jefferson?
Fair question.
Well, our guy Charlie reports that the Vikings would have traded Justin Jefferson. Of course, they're looking, well, we say they're looking to sign him to extension. That's at least what they've said. They have not done that. And with them offering to trade him, stands to reason that they won't sign him to an extension before the season starts.
Oh, they will now because they didn't get their receiver in the draft. Of course you're going to sign him now.
Or could somebody come with an offer, or you kick it down the road and tag him?
You're not going to get your receiver now. Like, had they drafted Neighbors, that's one thing, but you're not going to trade Jefferson. Now you have a rookie quarterback in McCarthy, and you're going to get rid of the best receiver in the NFL? No.
No, but I mean, you still do have Jordan Addison on the team. Like, you have a great 1-2 punch. I know
they're going to pay.
Okay, we will see. I'm not sold. That
around the draft. They're going to pay him. Around the draft, you can consider anything. It's not wrong for them to say, "Hey, could we go get a younger player on a rookie deal and get assets for Jefferson?" I think that's more of a compliment to Malik Neighbors to say, "We'll pass on the franchise quarterback to take a receiver on the cheap, so as not to have to pay." And then get a quarterback later in the draft, whatever the case may be. However it would have worked out. Use the assets you get for Jefferson to draft a quarterback somewhere else in the draft, potentially. So, I don't blame him. Like, consider all options. If you're not considering every option, you're being negligent as a general manager at running that team. That's a great asset. I mean, if you could trade Justin Jefferson and get Neighbors and other assets, okay, I'd consider it.
So we'll keep you posted as that saga continues to unravel.
How did spending $100 million on Michael Thomas work out for the Saints?
Not well.
Yeah.
Well,
not well. For 1 year?
Yeah, not well long term. We'll say that. It was Paul Skeens' shove day in Detroit as the Pirates are on the road. It's also Paul Skeens' birthday.
Hey.
He's 22 now. Happy birthday to Paul Skeens.
Hey, Kibi, how old are you today? 21.
It's Kibi's birthday.
We're going to have to put Kibi on mic here in a second. It's her
All
birthday.
right.
It's our intern, Kibi Huggins. Shout
6
out.
innings for Skeens on his birthday, 3 hits and 9 strikeouts. Struck out the side in the 4th inning. And he stands to win this game. The Pirates are up 7-2, and Aroldis Chapman is on the bump.
Don't you put that evil on him, Ricky Bobby. Don't you do it.
Chapman's never blown saves. He's good, right? You know well about how solid he is at the back end of a baseball game.
There was a time.
There was a time.
That time is not now.
It is not. It is not. How about this for Trey Morgan? We told you last week he got the call up to high A ball. He's doing quite well with Bowling Green so far. 2 for 4 last night with 3 RBI, including his second home run of the season in high A ball. It was a 2-run shot, hitting .452.
Wait, you said he's in high A?
High A.
High A, okay.
He might not be there for long. We'll see. Zach Hess, big night for him last night for the West Michigan Whitecaps.
.452.
Is that good?
Why are you still in high A?
I mean, he just got there. He just got there.
450 and bypass high A. 452.
Their due diligence. They're doing their due diligence on Trey Morgan.
That's so stupid. 452?
That team was so good last year.
Oh,
God,
my
they were
God,
incredible.
they're fun, yeah.
2 shutout innings of relief for Zach Hess with a strikeout. He did give up 2 hits, but got the win, his first win of the season. Naz Reid last night as the Timberwolves stave off elimination. Reid 6 points, 5 boards. Doesn't sound like a great line, but he did have the game icing basket with about 12 seconds left in the fourth quarter that put the Timberwolves up 5, making it a 2-possession game. That's Tigers in the pros.
All right, presented by Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding. Oh, yeah, they do indoor shutters as well. Saw my guy Brandon Holly earlier today. We're at the Rougarou press conference. Relief Windows is a proud sponsor of the Baton Rouge Rougarou. And listen, you see them all over. Their great community involvement, Relief Windows. But more than anything, the thing I love telling you about the most of Relief Windows is they never take $1 from you until they're done and you're thrilled. Think about that. They take 100% of the risk. Like they will not let a customer go unsatisfied. That's just always been at the core of how Brandon runs that business. And everyone that works in that office and wears that logo knows it. And that is their standard. It's an incredible company. It's not just about windows. They're going to treat you awesome. It's Relief Windows. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding, indoor shutters. It's Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. All right, y'all. I'm glad to have you hanging out with us here. Hump Day Show brought to you by Pluckers. Busy 5 o'clock hour. Ronnie Rantz in 20 minutes. He'll be in studio. We'll talk a little regional baseball with Ronnie in studio. When we come back, LSU quarterback commit Bryce Underwood is in Nashville for the On3 Elite Series. Sat down with our guys from Crane & Company. They asked him about his firmness of his commitment. We'll talk about it next.
AFR.
All right, as we put a button on hour number 2, we are brought to you by First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthLand.com, FirstSouthLand.com. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. And if for no other reason, and there are dozens and dozens of reasons that I've told you for months and months and months, if for no other reason, how about the patronage refund? So for 29 consecutive years now, First South Farm Credit has written a check to its borrowers. Let me ask you this. At some point, most of us have borrowed money for something in our life. Have you ever had a lender write you a check? First South Farm Credit does that every year. This year, they paid out more than $25 million to their borrowers. They share in the profits. They're a member-owned cooperative. It's First South Farm Credit. Go to FirstSouthLand.com, FirstSouthLand.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Charges have been dropped against world number one golfer Scottie Scheffler. The Jefferson County Attorney's Office in Louisville, Kentucky, said they reviewed the case and found evidence corroborated Scheffler's account that the traffic incident outside Valhalla Golf Club earlier this month was a big misunderstanding. NBA Mavericks rookie center Derek Lively has been upgraded to questionable for Game 5 of the West Finals tomorrow against the Timberwolves. He missed the Game 4 loss with a sprained neck. Three-time NBA champion Udonis Haslem.
He's their energy guy. Derek Lively is lightning in the bottle on both ends of the basketball court for these guys. On defense, he's calling out screens, he's blocking shots, he's getting rebounds, and on offense, he's their best lob threat. He gets to the basket, he gets there fast, he's very efficient down there, he makes good decisions out of the traps on the pick and roll, so they need that energy, they need his effort.
Game 5 tomorrow, 8 Eastern, ESPN Radio. The Mavs close out that series with a win. Clippers signed coach Ty Lue to a new deal through the 2028-2029 season, worth about $14 million a year, reports ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, and the deal will make Lue one of the NBA's highest-paid coaches.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier. They'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Miusu. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock, quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. And oh, by the way, it's hump day. Oh, man.
It's hump day.
I just texted Jake Crane. I got to get him on the show right now.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I just texted our side piece.
I was about to say, call it the side piece, baby.
Man. It's a late night booty call, man.
Hump day.
It's 5:02 and I need you, bro.
It's hump day.
CB answers.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I'll explain in just a moment.
Hump day.
Dan Pirillo, head coach of Long Island Baseball, was here just a bit ago.
It's hump day.
Chase Justice covers Wofford. He was here a bit ago.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Ronnie Rantz in studio in 15 minutes.
Hump day.
Check that. Slimbo just texted. Had a meeting run long off of Segan Lane. He'll be on the phone.
Man, between what we were talking about in the break about things that just make sense, and then Slimbo coming through, some things. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Loving.
Good. Slimbo's looking good, man.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Slimbo.
Big guy.
Ooh, big guy. Have a muso, call me. Hump day. There's more stuff. Pluggers trivia later.
It's hump day.
Otter locks.
Hump day.
Okay. Let's get going. Glad you're aboard with us here. So Bryce Underwood, who we all know now, number one quarterback in the country, number one player in the country for 2025, an incredible talent, a guy that everybody around here is super excited to have committed to the LSU class. I think Ryan Clark dumped gasoline on that already raging fire when he was here a couple weeks ago, rehashing his experience coaching Bryce Underwood in the 7-on-7 event down in Orlando. Well, this week, the On3 Elite Series is going on in Nashville, and it's the top 50 players in the country, and they're all invited down to Nashville, and they get to hear presentations on NIL and a lot of different stuff. Well, Bryce Underwood naturally was there, and he did a sit-down with Crane & Company. Of course, you know Jake Crane has been a good friend of the show. Jake, his brother Blaine, and then David Cohn, three-man show. We met those guys at SEC Media Days 3-4 years ago, and they've crushed it since. They've done awesome. And they were part of Cowherd's Volume Sports and then made the jump to Daily Wire, where they've done the show now, mornings on YouTube, for the past 2-3 years or so. But I knew Bryce Underwood did this interview with Crane & Company. But I heard the audio. I did not see the video until I just pulled up Twitter in the break. And Jake Crane is not on the interview. It's just Blaine and David Cohn sitting down with Bryce Underwood. Well, Paul, I need you to pull this up. So, and you can go full screen with it. Please go full screen with it. Okay, thank you. So as they're introducing the interview, I don't know how to describe this. I mean, so there's a very attractive young lady that walks behind them, and they're at a pool. They're at a hotel pool in Nashville. They're at some rooftop hotel pool in Nashville. They get Bryce Underwood, and behind are like these two young ladies that look like they're about to go for a swim. They probably have like their cover-ups on, and then another credentialed young lady walks up. It's just behind, like nobody watching this could be paying any attention whatsoever to this interview, because you have to just be fixated on what's happening behind them right now, which is one of the most perplexing things. And I don't know why Jake Crane isn't on this interview with them either. So I texted Jake. I'm like, can we call you right now to get you on the show? Because I have to find out like what's going on here. Why aren't you there? Why are your guys with Bryce Underwood by a pool at a rooftop pool in Nashville somewhere? And who are the beautiful young ladies behind you all just photobombing your show?
I mean, I was going to say it looks like a pretty sweet setup.
And there's a guy.
And then look at this guy. Yeah.
There's a guy who just walked up. Look at that. This is the most interesting 3-minute interview with no sound on, just watching this all transpire.
You think those girls are not supposed to be in the pool? Like
I think they have no idea. She just turned around and is looking at the camera. Like she has no idea.
Guy. There's another guy walking up.
Like they have no idea that's a show going on right now. I guarantee you they're set up under some cabana or something like that. It's probably shaded, and they have no idea they're in the back of a
bachelorette trip, you think?
Maybe.
Has to be, right? Nashville?
One of them has a credential on, though.
Oh. Well, I mean, it's a rooftop pool in Nashville. Maybe you need a credential like to get up there.
That looks like Ross Dellinger. No, that's not Ross, but it looked like him. And that guy just almost walked right in. Now, there he goes.
There he goes. Oh, wait, he's coming back now.
This is terrible radio. But I understand that if you're driving, listening to this on radio right now, you are confused and perplexed. All I can tell you is go to Twitter or YouTube, go to the Crane & Company Twitter or their YouTube, and pull up this 3-minute video with Bryce Underwood and just look at everything. And now he's got a beer. That guy just walked by with a beer. This is a morning show.
So?
But he's got a credential on.
Hey, man.
He's wearing a credential for this event.
You can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning.
But if you're credentialed at the event in the morning, it's not a good look. And we just got you on YouTube.
Yeah.
So, by the way, Bryce Underwood also told the guys why he chose LSU over Michigan.
Development at the quarterback position.
And they've had
as you go as far as like history and things like that, like that was a big thing for me. Like for Michigan, you don't have the same amount of development as like LSU has at the moment. So.
How stunning of an answer is that? When the number one quarterback in the country says development, Michigan doesn't have the history that LSU does at developing quarterbacks. When LSU for a decade was a quarterback graveyard, but in the last 10 years, really in the last 5 years, you've got 2 Heisman winners. So if Bryce Underwood, go back to when he was 12 and 13 years old, all he's known is Joe Burrow and Jaden Daniels. Makes a lot more sense than all of the misses that Michigan had. Remember when they thought Shea Patterson was going to be the guy and then wasn't? Oh, the guy with the beer is back. Oh, look, the plot thickens, Muse. Watch the guy with the beer come back. Pull it up, Paulie. Watch the guy. Watch what's in his hand now. Here we go. Go to the wide shot. Oh, man. Of course, I scrolled back too far.
It's okay. I mean,
watch. It's coming. They're going to go. Look.
I can't see what's in his
foam cups.
Okay. So, okay, look, I don't think he's there for the event. I think he clearly works for the hotel.
He took the beers, put them in phone cups.
Yes.
And brought the drinks back for the young ladies.
Yes.
He's not working for the hotel. He's got a credential on.
You sure couldn't just be like his hotel ID or something?
No, that was a credential. I've been to enough events where you do the little string credential thing that you tie to your belt loop, and
Yeah.
You either do that, or when you have a really fancy event, they give you like a nice lanyard that goes over the neck, or you could do it on a button. Those are the options.
The button
with the string lanyard.
I don't think the young ladies are part of the event. I think they're staying at the hotel.
I agree with that.
I think they're definitely on a bachelorette trip.
I don't know if it's bachelorette, but I agree with them not being part of the event because they had no idea what was going on right there. That they were in the back of a shoot there. One more from Bryce Underwood. Here's the part of his game he wants to improve in his senior year.
Honestly, being able to be quicker on my thought process, just getting into my stuff. Like, my thought process is real quick. I'm real quick on my toes and stuff like that, but I feel like I could be even faster for the next level. So that's the main thing I've been working on.
I should also mention that he's doing that interview with Blaine Crane and David Cohn. That would be former Michigan quarterback David Cohn, who Bryce Underwood is saying Michigan does not develop quarterbacks. And David Cohn can verify and validate that Michigan does not develop quarterbacks. Take that, Tom Brady. Elvis Gerback. Drew Henson.
Chad Pennington?
Marshall.
Oh, wait, who's the there was a Pennington at Michigan though, wasn't there? What am I thinking? Who am I thinking of?
Show ends at 6, Muse. You better come up with a quick one.
I'm not going to. I'm looking to you for help here.
A Pennington?
I could have sworn, right?
No. Sorry.
Man, I'm thinking of somebody and just said Chad Pennington.
Jim Harbaugh.
No, I'm thinking of Harbaugh.
There's a lot. I'm just throwing out any number of
Henne?
Chad Henne.
Chad Henne. Chad Henne.
That is not the same as Pennington.
No, but Chad. So,
Start with different letters, multiple syllable, polysyllabic.
Oh, that's a good word. You could see how I got there a little bit though. I mean, same first name, Henne, Penning, you can see how I would arrive there.
Oh, I get it. Paul, we understand what's happened here. When someone would confuse the names Henne and Pennington, we understand now at 5:12 in the afternoon why he might make that mistake.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Sometimes he just makes it too easy, Paul. I mean, why does he even bother fighting it anymore?
It's a lost cause, man.
Makes it so obvious. Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com. I'm sitting here at 5:12 in the evening, and I can hear on the other side of this wall thunder and lightning cracking, and I know one thing for certain. Whenever it rains, our phones ring. I'm going to give you that phone number here in just a quick second because, as I unfortunately have to tell you so often, there's only 2 ways to know if you have roof damage. Number 1, you give us a call. We come give you a free, no-obligation roofing inspection. We get on the roof. We walk the roof. We inspect it. We'll spot damage. If you need a repair, replacement, we'll help you file a claim with your insurance company. We can handle everything from start to finish. Bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. You're done. No worries. New roof, repair, whatever you need. Or you can wait till it rains, you get water in your house, and that's a bummer. So let us come give you that free, no-obligation roofing inspection. Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. I've told you for 3.5 years, do business with someone you know, and that hasn't changed. Still me and Terrio and Tilly and Joe and all of our crews. It's like all of our same people, just a new company, Parish Construction and Roofing. Go to the website, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com, P-A-R-I-S-H, parishbuilt.com. or call us. Again, same phone number that I'm giving you for 3.5 years, 364-1007. 364-1007 or parishbuilt.com for Parish Construction and Roofing. By the way, we service the entire state. So even if you're outside of Baton Rouge, we've got boots on the ground from Lake Charles, Slidell, points in between. We'd love to help you out. Parishbuilt.com. Okay, Ronnie Rantz will be here tomorrow. The Rougarou season starts, but we'll talk, obviously, a lot of LSU baseball. Ronnie's got one LSU baseball signee and a current LSU Tiger on the Rougarou this year. So I'll ask him about those two guys. And also, Ronnie, of course, called a ton of LSU games this year for the SEC Network. So we'll get some thoughts on LSU heading up to Chapel Hill. Two-time national champ Ronnie Rantz will be with us next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Of course, the rain is out. It's pouring down. It's a great time, though, to get by Clegg's Nursery. If you want to bring some life to that outdoor space, we had some family over on Monday for Memorial Day, and we threw some meat on the grill and jumped in the pool and had a great day. And I'm telling you, man, the outdoor spaces just come alive when you add that color to your space, when you add those flowers and the plants and the shrubs. So if you've got those flower beds that need some TLC, you got those patio pots that need a little sprucing up, or you don't have any patio pots, no worries. They sell them there at Clegg's Nursery as well, any of the 4 locations. Siega near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. You can get by any of the 4 Clegg's Nursery locations. Tell them Matt sent you in. Ask any of their helpful staff. They'll walk you through that entire process of finding whatever it is you need to beautify your outdoor space. It's Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The best kept secret.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Spent part of the day earlier today over at Lod Cook Alumni Center at LSU. It was a media day for the Baton Rouge Rougarou Collegiate Wooden Bat League, part of the Texas Collegiate League, owned by our friend Ronnie Rantz, a.k.a. Jumbo, a.k.a. Slimbo. Good enough to jump board with us here, talk a little Rougarou and some LSU baseball. How are you?
I'm doing great, Matt. Thanks for coming by to the press conference. You and we had WAV, BRZ there as well. Appreciate you covering us.
Yeah, man. You've done an amazing job over the last 3 years, continuing to build that bigger and bigger each year. I want to talk about LSU regionals, but real quick on the Rougarou, you do have two guys with LSU ties. You got Zeb Ruddle, who's on the team, and then Blaze Priester, who's a Live Oak kid who went to JUCO and is signed with LSU. We're going to sweat out the draft, but if people come watch the Rougarou, they're going to get to see those two guys play this summer. What can you tell us about those two?
Well, Zeb was the number one outfielder in the state of Louisiana out of high school, out of Neville High School. 2 years ago, he redshirted in 22, got some ABs, and played a little bit here this season. Didn't make the postseason roster, but he's a talented young player and has a bright future. Left-handed hitter and just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Priester's a guy who we've heard about a long time here in the Baton Rouge area. He was a great player at Live Oak High School. And, there was a lot of talk about him out of high school, whether he was even going to go to college. Might be a high draft pick. Ended up going to Meridian Community College over in Mississippi, a blue blood kind of JUCO program. And now he's headed back to LSU. Or is he? He still has the draft ahead of him in July. Who knows what's going to happen there? He's a guy that pro scouts are very much looking at. But if he does make it to campus at LSU, talking about a veteran catcher who's a big physical specimen, who'll get an opportunity to compete with Neal for the job next season.
It's going to be the draft is always you and I were talking about earlier. The draft is always fascinating because it's truly unique. It's unlike any other professional sports league's draft where teams draft a lot of times not only in potential, but you draft guys that can make a choice to go back to school, and there's money and just a lot of different components mixed in. As far as the roster for the Rougarou, how many states or schools are represented on the 30-man roster?
Yeah, we probably have about 6 different states, mostly Texas and Louisiana. That's about 75, 80% of the players, but we do have some players. We got a kid from Washington, got a kid from North Carolina, and some other states around here, Arkansas. But, and probably as many as 20-plus colleges represented and different levels. We've got from NAIA to Division I and JUCO and everywhere in between.
Opening day tomorrow for the Rougarou, so Thursday. Ronnie, I know the schedule's at the website, but and you'll play Friday nights, right? What other days of the week as people start to plan out their summer if they want to get out and watch a game?
Yeah, the only day of the week that we don't play is on Mondays. That's a league holiday for everybody. So you play 2-game series. So you play Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we got pretty much balanced, about 13, 14 games in June and 13, 14 home games in July. And we play 48 total. And so it's Friday nights we have fireworks. So, 2 nights from now we get the Jerry Lane Chevrolet fireworks show during the 7th-inning stretch. And each and every night there's promotions. It's just like it's minor league baseball, just with college players. Instead of paying them, we house them and feed them. That's pretty much the deal.
brrougarou.com. You want to learn about tickets or all the stuff going on, schedule, everything. It's there. brrougarou.com. It's pretty cool. And it's a fun atmosphere. I know a lot of people looking for what they're going to do with the family. Affordable family entertainment here during the summer months. You can get out to Pete Goolsby for the Baton Rouge Rougarou. brrougarou.com if you want to go check it out there. In the meantime, Ronnie, the Tigers are heading out east. What did you think of the draw in Chapel Hill?
I was a little bit surprised, right? We've been hearing about Oklahoma State was, everybody seemed like that was a lock. So when you saw North Carolina, it was like, ooh, that's different. Usually they're going west, not east. So it's kind of, as somebody who just likes change every once in a while, it's kind of exciting to go East Coast, early games. That's all pretty rare for the Tigers. Probably less fans will be in North Carolina than there would be had they played in Oklahoma. That's a little easier get. But I think, outside of North Carolina, obviously that's the big team that the Tigers are going to face, top 8 national seed. But outside of that, I think it's a pretty easy draw.
Even getting UNC feels like a win for LSU.
Mm-hmm.
And the super draw, if it gets there. What do you think, Jay? There's been a lot of conversation about this, Ronnie. What Jay should do on Friday? Is it jump? Is it Holman? Do you pitch off? What's your thought?
I'm not a fan about pitching off unless you just happen to have three guys that are pretty equal. The thing about it is it's not a 6-game tournament like it was for many, many years. It's the last 25 years. It's now a 4-team, and that's a little different. And because the game is baseball, and they've got a guy too. Everybody's got a guy, and so if they've got a guy, you got to get that first win. LSU's not in a situation, as well as they played for the last 4 weeks, they're not in a situation where they want to deal with 5 games in 4 days, and that's what happens if you lose that first game. You got to play 5 games to win the tournament. Play in 5 games to get through the tournament, and nobody's got that much pitching, right? I mean, it can happen, but you don't want to be in that spot. And so win that first game, and it's a game changer. I mean, jump and Holman. I'd rather go jump and Holman, and then just take my chances that I got enough to survive and win one out of the next 2.
And look, we saw. I mean, Ryan, we've joked about it, but not in a funny ha-ha way. But I mean, Jay threw Paul Skeens last year against Tulane, a sub 500 Tulane team.
Yeah,
he threw the best pitcher any of us have ever seen. Like he's gonna go jump or Holman, whichever way it is. I think it is the right decision to make. You got to see this team a lot this year. Ronnie Rantz is our guest, calling games for the SEC Network. What do you think has been the reason, the spark offensively, the catalyst that kind of got them going in the last month?
I tell you what, I think what's happened is Milam. It kind of was like in tandem. I mean, Tommy White has been the spark since the SEC began. I mean, he's the torch. I mean, the guy had 2 homers the first month of the season. I remember going to walk-ons after the game with Buzzy Heidel and Doug Thompson. We always kind of make our little chart on our projections on what players are going to do over the SEC. And I never dreamed that Tommy White, as good as he is, would end up with 24 homers or something right now. Like, that's crazy. So he has been the guy. But outside of that, I look at the freshmen that are in their lineup, and Milam had his little dip where it looked like, okay, maybe going to hit those freshman blues a little bit. They figured him out. And then once he dipped to about 290, bam, he turned it around, and he has just been on a tear since. And I think his being just rock solid in the middle of the lineup and Braswell being a giant shock, those 2 guys going in, they're big question marks in the middle of the lineup, and they have solidified the team not only offensively but defensively.
Yeah. We and you didn't even mention Ashton Larson, which I think speaks to Ronnie the depth in the lineup, and one of the reasons that they're not just relying on Tommy White anymore to get through it. Last thing for you, if Christian Little isn't available because of the lat, how big of a deal is that for how they piece together the bullpen for the weekend?
Well, it depends on if you stay on that winner's bracket side. It's a shame because he really has come into his own. I mean, you talk about a guy who flipped the switch. I mean, he was, quite frankly, it was going to probably be a little bit of a disappointing collegiate career. And then what he did for himself personally with the draft and whatnot in professional baseball, but what he did for this team, I mean, if he can hopefully be okay, because he's arguably their best or second, outside of Herring, he might be their next best or second best reliever.
Yeah, today, right now, I think that's definitely a fair assumption. Or Ackenhouse, certainly the best from the right side.
From the right side,
no doubt. The big guy from the left side, old Slimbo, Ronnie Rantz. Hey, how did you shoot in Ireland?
Oh man, let's not talk about the round. It was terrible. I shot terrible, Matt. But listen, I played 6 rounds of golf in Ireland, the greatest golf courses in the world, absolutely gorgeous. Former Tiger great Blair Barbier played much better than I. He was in my group. But it was this bad, man. I was standing over 2-3 foot putts and had zero confidence. That's how bad it was.
My God. Hey, but it was worth the flight, I would assume.
It was worth it all. It was worth it all.
All right, got a trip to Ireland in before the Rougarou season starts. That's tomorrow over at Pete Goolsby Field. You can go to brrougarou.com. He is Ronnie Rantz. Thanks, Limbo. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Matt.
Of course. Had the media day over there for the Rougarou. We're happy to support, man. Ronnie's been a friend for a long time, obviously. Good to us with the show, but he really has done a great job with the Rougarou. It's been around since 2019. And I think Ronnie's the 3rd owner of the Rougarou since it started. And every year you can see just there's more businesses getting involved. There's more community involvement. It's building. It's a cool thing, man, to have a wooden bat collegiate baseball summer league here in Baton Rouge. So if you get a chance, you want to get out watching baseball this summer, you can do it. brrugaroo.com for schedule and tickets and all that stuff. All right, it's after further review. We're brought to you by Optimize. I mean, a day like today, when I can hear it thundering outside. I got home yesterday, or was it 2 days ago, that the weather was really bad, and Erica told me that the power went out 3 times at our house for some reason. Unfortunately, that seems to happen a good bit at our house, but it doesn't matter because we have a Generac automatic home standby generator. So when the power goes out, boom, generator kicks on, it powers the whole home. A couple things to remind you about with Optimize. Of course, they have financing available. If you're curious about the cost or if you can afford it, they have financing options to meet any budget. The down payment is $600. So if you have $600 for a down payment, you can get a Generac automatic home standby generator from Optimize. And right now, they're offering a free 10-year warranty. Optimize is the best. I love getting testimonials, and I got this on the text line yesterday from a guy named Steve. I won't tell you his last name, but it's Steve C., who said he sent this yesterday at 3:29 p.m. Matt, Optimize was awesome. Setup crew, awesome. Follow-up was great. Final install last Wednesday. They are the real deal. Thanks for sharing. You know how easy it is to promote a business when you get validation like that from your audience? They're the best. There's a reason Optimize is the #1 Generac dealer in the state of Louisiana. That's all they do. They sell, service, and install Generac automatic home standby generators, and they have 4 physical locations across the 10-12 corridor. So it doesn't matter if you're Slidell, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Lake Charles, anywhere on the 10-12 corridor. Of course, on the North Shore, Hammond, Tangipahoa, anywhere on the 10-12 corridor, Optimize can help you get that free 10-year warranty with that Generac automatic home standby generator. GeneratorPeople.com. GeneratorPeople.com. Okay, it's after further review. We got Pluckers Trivia coming up. We got Otter Locks ahead. We got what we learned. We're glad you're here. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials, and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
He's here. Anyone want a Coors Light?
Oh, shoot, I forgot to play the song. I got a guy who can fix this.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the mic icon to send us your thoughts in audio form. Your message could be played on air during Off the Bench, The Hunt Palmer Show, and after further review. Speak up. Tell us your location and be heard. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store for direct links. Visit 1045ESPN.com.
All right. Otterlocks in about 10 minutes right now. Let's do it, Muse. Time for trivia.
It's time for Plucker's Trivia. How many will Musso get wrong today? Plucker's Trivia. Every Wednesday night, 7:30 at Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson.
All right. 3 questions here, Muse. I don't know how you're going to do.
I mean, you were laughing during the break.
I don't know how you're going to do here.
Theme?
No.
Nope. All right.
Do you want to let Kibi help since it's her birthday?
Sure. We can do that.
We can introduce Paul. Can you slide your mic over?
Might be easier for Paul.
That'd be easier there. Okay, good. That'll work. So everyone, this is Kibi Huggins. She's a student at Southeastern Louisiana. Also happens to be a volleyball player. Paul fired up over there. He's got a fellow Lion in the house now. And she's interning with us right now. So how's it going so far?
Going pretty well.
And it's also your birthday.
Yes, it is.
So did you say earlier 21 today?
I am turning 21.
Can we I just need you to go closer to the mic. I don't know if it'll reach farther or switch. There we go. I know. We need to get another mic over there.
Right here.
It's just atypical that we ever have 3 people there. But if we have an intern, we'll probably be. Anyway, okay, so Kibi. So what are the plans tonight for the 21st birthday?
Nothing special. I'm going for a run after this. And my grams is cooking. And then we're going to sing happy birthday. That's it.
You're going for a run?
Yeah.
So that's what it's like to be a collegiate athlete.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Okay. My 21st birthday did not involve me going for a run.
Yeah, mine neither.
I did have to work the next morning.
Ooh.
The one day of my life I was late. The one day of my life I was late.
That's understandable.
Still not acceptable.
No, but it's understandable.
You only turned 21 once, so.
And you're going to spend it running and having a pretty low-key day.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Kibi, I don't know if you're going to be any help from use on these, but you might be because they all involve some type of like popular culture, but from different eras. So it's not anything particular, but y'all may know these, so you can work together. All right. Number 1. Who wrote the novel Pride and Prejudice? She's looking at you. She don't have a clue.
Oh, I feel like I should know that.
Yeah, you should know that.
Yeah, I should.
Holly, do you know it? We are not a room of readers, apparently.
No, I'm not. But, I mean, it's Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah.
You're going to say it, and I'm going to be real angry. But I'm going to go.
I feel like even if you don't know it, really, when I say it, you're just going to go, but you really don't know.
No, but it's a well enough known author that I feel like I would have definitely heard the name before. I'm not super confident in this, but I'm going to say F. Scott Fitzgerald.
You didn't even have the right gender. It's a Jane Austen. So.
Oh, man.
See, he did. There he did. Like, you guessed a man. Like, you weren't even close. You had no
That's
clue.
not the reason for the all man. The all man is because, Jane Austen's a well-known author.
But you had no clue.
But that's not the point of the all man.
That is the point.
No, it's
You're
not.
like,
We literally went over it before.
60 seconds ago, I said the words. You're going to go, I should have done that. And you did that when you weren't even close. You didn't even know it was a woman.
And when I clarified, I said, yes, I'm going to go all man because it's going to be a name that I know, a well-known author, which it was.
But
it has nothing to do with how close I was.
Man, when you think you should know it.
You should know that. With Jane Austen's a classic author. I should know that. I didn't.
You didn't know it.
I don't read.
And this much we know. But
novels suck.
What you didn't know was that Jane Austen wrote Pride and Prejudice. All right, let's move on. What year was the film Clueless released in theaters? You were definitely not born.
I'm about to say, was I even born?
Do you even know the movie?
Yes.
Okay. Have you seen it?
I have.
Okay. I'm used to last time you tried to guess something of popular culture from the 90s. It was actually from the 2000s. You guessed the 90s.
Clueless was 96, right? 1996?
I say 92.
Both incorrect. 1995 would have been Clueless.
1 year late.
All right, let's see if we can get this one. I feel like you should know this one.
Well.
One of you should know this. Even though I'm going to say the year, and y'all are both going to roll your eyes and go blah, 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 blah. I think one of you should know this. According to a 1974 Barry Manilow song, who came and gave without taking? Paul, no? Nothing?
Paul?
Nothing?
Zero.
Came and gave without taking.
Let's just give yourself the okay.
Yeah,
you would know it or you. Mandy is the name of the song.
I've heard the song.
Oh, Mandy,
yeah,
but you
it's a good
came
song.
and you gave without taking. Push me away, oh, Mandy. Anyway, my mom liked Barry Manilow. And there was also a movie with Jennifer Love Hewitt in it. It was that movie. I don't know, one of those teen high school movies. And the romantic interest in the rom-com, the guy, he was like calling this show with Barry Manilow on it to see because he loved that song because the girl's name was Amanda, and so it was Mandy. He thought it was a sign, and then someone told him the movie was the song was actually about the man's dog, Mandy, and not
a girl.
Never mind. Jennifer Love Hewitt. What's the name of that movie? You know who Jennifer Love Hewitt is?
Yes, I know who Jennifer Love Hewitt is.
Well, don't act all surprised, all right? Like, you're not exactly crushing it with 90s pop culture muse. I'm right for asking or at least questioning it.
I'm a 90s baby. I'm a 90s kid, but I was
bleh, bleh.
For the majority of that, I wouldn't even
bleh, bleh, bleh.
See, I would have
been. What
been
year were you born?
93. I turned 7 in 2000.
Can't Hardly Wait was the movie. She was Amanda Beckett. Can't Hardly Wait.
Amanda Beckett.
It was one of the movies that was spoofed in another teen movie if you're interested in watching it. Okay, that was another successful round of Pluckers trivia. If you can do better, go to Pluckers and win Pluckers gift cards. 7:30 Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock Nicholson. Happy birthday to Kiwi. That was not a great birthday present. I wish we could have given you something easier there on your birthday, like a good setup question that would have worked. Like, what's Southeastern's mascot? The Lions. There it is. She got one. Give her a ding. Just give her a ding for it's her birthday. She's 21 today. My 21st birthday was spent playing an open mic at Mellow Mushroom, ending up at the Awful Bar attached to the Waffle House on College Drive, where I was a wingman for my friend. But
pirate-themed
that pirate thing. That's yes.
You've been there?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
On my 21st birthday.
Was it a successful wingman at least?
I don't think so.
Oh,
but
man.
I was like, you're buying all of my drinks and you're driving me. And he did, to his credit. And man, I'm trying to think if I should tell the rest of the story about the wake up.
We have time.
No. That's a nightcap with scones story. That's not an AFR radio story, how the rest of that night went. Just suffice to say, I had a far more eventful 21st birthday than Kiwi Bell. But happy birthday nonetheless. Okay, it's after further review. Quick break. Otter Locks next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. Rouse's are everywhere, man. 70 locations from Lake Charles all the way to Orange Beach and points in between. Man, summer is here. You're going to be spending those summer days by the pool. Get on by Rouse's. Make sure you grab plenty of great water or adult beverages, whatever you need to keep you hydrated. You want fun appetizers to have out by the pool. You want to grill burgers, they got it. You want buns and meat and all the things that you need, they got it over at Rouse's. They got everything. You want to make groceries, you go to Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints, and, of course, great supporters of everything in our community. It's Rouse's. Hey, look, they love to source locally anywhere they can. One of the more amazing things is, as big as Rouse's is, they still have, like, handshake deals with fishermen in South Louisiana for the products they get. So it's Gulf fish, shrimp. It's amazing. Got to check it out. It's Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $11,000 off the new 23 Dodge Charger. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $11,000 off the powerful new Charger. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding.
but our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I need a sip of Evermore. Natural artesian water. I just got done watching a video Craig Schilling put together where he superimposed Hunt the Good Ag over a Texas A&M championship tennis video. That's the funniest thing I've ever seen. All right, the funniest thing I've ever seen was Hunt actually doing the Hunt the Good Ag bit in studio 2 years ago. That was what I never could have imagined that going as well as it did, but it was phenomenal. Go check out my Twitter if you haven't seen it. Shout out to Craig Schilling, the GOAT. Okay, hit it, Otter.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
Otter, how are you?
What's up, Matthew? How about you?
I'm having a good time. Just a good day. Good day.
Yeah.
Good time. Yeah. How about you?
Good.
Okay.
This grass cut before it rains, so that's part of it.
Good. Got to get it in, Otter. Got to get that done. All right. So we had a 1-2 night last night. We hit with the under.
Right.
The Mavs obviously lost last night, and then we lost the Reds. So did we have other bets?
Yeah, we had Toronto
get...
-1.5, and then we lost the other baseball game. So 1 and 2.
I don't know why I didn't get that in. Anyway.
Yeah, 1 and 2 in MLB with the basketball.
Okay. All right. What are we looking at tonight?
All right. So no basketball tonight. So Rantz is on today. He's as respected as any contributor we have, and so I said his specialty is hockey. So I said, give us one. And so he said Dallas Stars, and this is really where the zigzag has been paying off in these hockey. Team goes down 0-1, they tie it up. Team goes down 2-1, they tie up the series. So it's been working, but he's going against it tonight. He said anytime you can get the Dallas Stars at a plus price, he said go ahead and take them. That's his pick to win the whole thing. He's got a couple of bets on it already.
Okay. All right, Dallas is coming back at plus 114 on the money line. So nice little price there for Dallas.
Yeah. And then in the baseball, the Nationals got a pitching advantage against the Braves.
Okay.
So go Washington and take the Cubs, young Emanyama. The young guy, man, the lefty. He's unhittable right now. Shades of Mateo Novo when he first came on. Still they see him a couple of times. They're just not hitting.
All right. So the Nationals and the Cubs both on the money line. So 3 plays tonight. Dallas Stars on the money line, coming back plus money, and then Washington and Chicago, the Cubs, the Nationals and the Cubs on the money line as well.
That's correct.
All right, man. Where are you tomorrow, Otter?
Downtown, Jolie Pearl.
Love it, man. Great spot in downtown Baton Rouge. Let's hope for great weather and a great show. Good luck, Otter. We appreciate it.
All right, good luck.
All right, man. Be well. It's after further review. Of course, if you're in town, a little staycation, or maybe you're knocking off of work right now, wondering what to do, man, get on by and see our friends over at Supper Club. Matt, I don't have a reservation. Doesn't matter. Remember, open seating at the bar at Supper Club. So if you've been waiting, sitting on the sideline these last 2 years since they opened, just seeing everybody's Instagram posts and hearing everybody's stories about how amazing Supper Club is, here's your chance to go try it tonight. Just swing on into Supper Club. Remember, I always want to encourage you to do this as well. Call them. They have cancellations from time to time. Maybe you can get in same day. Worst case scenario, man, go hang out at the bar, have a great craft cocktail, a premium, a whiskey or spirit, and an amazing, amazing meal. Remember, coming up on Tuesday, they're going to be releasing some new menu items. So a lot of the regulars obviously are thrilled to have something new to try as well. But if you're a foodie or just love a great dining experience, you're not going to find any better than Supper Club right there on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge. Open seating at the bar, People always say, well, I don't have a sport coat. Doesn't matter. The stated dress code, collared shirt, slacks or nice jeans, just no sandals, no T-shirts, no caps. The dress code is elegant casual. You want to dress up, dress to the nines, have an awesome night, you can always do it over at Supper Club, where, man, they are proud of everything on the menu. Whatever you're in the mood for, if it's scallops or steak or fish, it's going to be the best you've ever had. Everything they get at Supper Club is the highest quality, and you will always get a fine, fun dining experience at Supper Club right there on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge. Reservation, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. All right, we'll get to what we learned here in just a quick second. If you missed anything on the show, AFR On Demand presented by Brett Golf. Many thanks to Dan Pirillo, the head baseball coach at Long Island, was here with us. Chase Justice, who covers Wofford, was here with us in hour number 2 as well. Ronnie Rantz just a bit ago. We were talking earlier about the Crane and Company interview with Bryce Underwood, and there were these two very attractive young ladies who were behind, like almost photobombing the interview. And Muse, we have a verdict on this?
We have a verdict on this.
Are we 100% sure?
100% sure. 100% sure, yes. They're dressed the exact same as the two women that we saw in the back. Craig Schilling, who we mentioned earlier, the GOAT, actually added me in this tweet of an interview that Crane & Company was doing with the Calandro twins. That was the Calandro twins.
Okay. That is way more explainable.
Yes.
That it was them than just randomly people at a pool behind the Crane & Company interview. But still go check out the Crane & Company interview with Bryce Underwood or with the Calandro twins. All right. That's going to do it for us here. Muse, Paulie, appreciate it. Y'all have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
And as we get on down the road, I do get to remind you about Evermore. Every day I got my bottle of Evermore that I sit here and drink during the show. I've made this change in my life at our home for our family. Bypass the cheap crinkly plastic water bottles. Bypass that. Bypass the water from Texas. If you're drinking bottled water, that's great. Of course, it's better than tap. But if you want a better product, a healthier product for your children, a better source of hydration if you're an athlete, something that is a rare alkaline source with a pH of 8.8 to 9.1. If you're seeking alkalinity, this is natural artesian water straight out of a natural well in the ground. It's a Louisiana product. It's a better product. It's Evermore, available online at evermore.com or at great local retailers. Experience the difference with Evermore.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.